camera one is the commentary. I'll cut to the track on it. I think
The number 2 seed Douglas College Royals versus the number 3 seed Capilano University Blues. Kickoff in that one will be 3 p.m. Before we begin, we'd like to invite CapU Director of Athletics and Recreation, Nobel Thomas, for CapU's land acknowledgement.
Capilano University is named Joe Capilano, an important leader of the Scottish nation and Coast Salish peoples. We respectfully acknowledge that our campuses are located on the unceded territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Sechelt, Squamish, and Musqueam nations. I am a first-generation Canadian of Caribbean descent, raised by immigrant parents who settled on these lands. I acknowledge the ongoing contributions and teachings of Indigenous peoples. I also acknowledge the privileges I have in this space and within academia, a space where systemic racism and colonial practices have and continue to exist. May our actions today and tomorrow reflect our commitment to truth and reconciliation.
Thank you, Nobel. Next, please rise if you are able and remove your hat for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem.
It's okay, dude. No worries. That's perfect. I think it might be least 10 minutes. Oh, this is the closest thing I got, so. Where's the drink? Does it work? That works, yeah. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Welcome to University of Capilano's Squamish campus. It's a double header today in the semifinals. With the 12 o'clock kickoff later on, and then with the 3 o'clock kickoff, let's get the business at hand.
Before we begin today's match, we are proud to celebrate members of the 2025 PACWEST All-Star team present in this match, as well as those from the Captain Blues. Athletes, please join us at the scorer's table for your photo as your name is called. First, from the Douglas College Royals, Isabella Dobbin.
Massive for Langara Falcons and their fans. Douglas, meanwhile, they held the Capilano last men's and women's in the 2023 CCAA rankings heading into this one as of October 21st.
Also from the Douglas College Royals, Ashlyn Grips.
Meanwhile, Douglas, their 1 win, 3 draws, 1 loss in their last 5 matches. Leading scorers for both clubs, Isabel Dobbin, as always, at the top of the scoring chart. She was tied for the Golden Boot with 7 goals at the end of the campaign. 7 goals from 12 games. That's a fantastic haul at any level of soccer. Meanwhile, it's been a bit of group scoring by committee for the Falcons. Their 2 leading scorers, both on 2 goals, Madison Hung and Aaron Bandel. Some all-star nods and awards to give out before this one as well for these clubs. Ava Giovinazzo and Kate Bonazu named all-stars for Langara, while Isabel Dobbin and Ashlyn Grimm were named all-stars for Douglas. And lo and behold, all 4 of those ladies will be in the starting 11 for both squads today. Let's get you those starting 11s now. First for the second spot, Langara Falcons. In goal, number 1, that all-star, Kate Bonazu. She's been fantastic all season long for the ladies in orange. Elsewhere, number 6, Ashleen Jasser. The returning midfielder, number 7, Melina Glavis, who the Falcons have dearly missed down the stretch. Number 8, Manat Dillon. Their leading scorer, number 9, Aaron Bandel. Number 11, Amber Wells. Number 13, Cassidy Kwan. Number 14, Marina Pashalides. Number 17, who scored on the last day of the season, Alexa Di Ruggiero. Number 21, also an all-star, Ava Giovinazzo at the center back. And number 25, Annette Hernandez. That is the starting 11 for the Langara Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Douglas College Wolves, tripping over my words there, so excited to kick off this one. In goal, number 13, Vanessa Chung. Elsewhere, number 4, Justina Parks. Number 5, the Speed Demon, one of my favorite players to watch, Anna Claver Valdez. Number 7, Katie Buckle. Number 9, Jessica Parks. Number 10, she's an all-star, as mentioned before this one, Isabel Dobbin, and top of the scoring charts as well, so she's got plenty of plaudits heading into this one. Number 12, Haley Rogers. Number 14, Emma Saran. Number 21, Lucy Baker. Number 22, Kelly Murata, which I believe is Miata, but I could be mistaken. And number 25, Ashlyn Grimm, who is also an all-star as well for the Douglas College Royals. Langara will play from right to left on your stream here today to start off this first half. They'll be playing in white shirts. They'll have orange piping, orange lettering, a little bit of black trim, and some orange socks as well. Once again, that's the Langara Falcons playing from right to left on your stream today in this first half. The Douglas Royals in their familiar royal green strip from head to toe, a little bit of light green piping and trim, or maybe even some forest green piping and trim to fit the Squamish background. They've got some silver and white lettering as well. Head to toe in green, though, are the Douglas Royals, and they will play from left to right on your stream. And as you hear the Douglas Royals supporters here in full force, as they usually are, whether it's at their home park, Willoughby Park in Langley, where they've played against the Falcons in past, or on the road here in Squamish. Mentioned the head-to-head record before this one. Langara holding it, but they were all really tight games. 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. That's from the Langara point of view. And as mentioned, those results were a 1-0 win, a 1-1 draw, another 1-0 win, and then a 0-1 loss. So all goal games, if not draws, between the Douglas Royals and the Langara Falcons here. So this will be a very tight one. And yes, we can go to penalty kicks. It can happen. So put an extra pot of coffee on if that does take place. It'll be the Falcons kicking off first. Amber Wells, I beg your pardon, at halfway. And we're now underway here. The PACWEST BC semifinals, provincial style. The winner of this one heads on to meet the VIU Mariners, who more or less ran the table in the regular season. If I'm not mistaken, they only lost once, and it was to Capilano, who isn't figuring into the tournament on the women's side here. So whoever does manage to win this match will have a stern challenge ahead of them as the VIU Mariners lay in wait. And the VIU Mariners showing up early here today. They didn't even have to be in the Squamish campus, but they're in the bleachers to my right, just scoping out the opponent, seeing what they have in store. And of course, they've met these opponents across the span of the season. VIU only dropping one of those encounters. Manat Dillon, she gets her first touch, spreads it to her right. I believe that's Melina Glavis. Bandel now. She's hacked from behind. Referee will call a foul away the Falcons, and they'll get the first free kick of the matchup here. It'll be Cassidy Kwan alongside Ava Giovinazzo, who, coming back from a knee injury, manages to bring home all-star honors, which is a very nice tip of the cap to the center back, number 21 for the Falcons. This is a real chance here for the Royals. Anna Claver Valdez into the penalty area. She's being shrugged off by Giovinazzo, and it will be the first corner kick of the match. I want to say it's less than 2 minutes in. It is, and first real chance of the match here from Douglas. It's a near right-sided corner kick with the Recreation Center of the Capilano University Squamish in the background. And what a sight for a weekend of soccer. You're more or less in the mountains, a little bit of a misty mountain hop as well. It's just a dash cloudy, but you still have the colorful leaves falling off the trees, and snow on the mountains. It was an absolutely excellent drive up here. And the weather is kind of behaving. It's been calling for sleet and snow and rain and 1 degree, but so far it's managed to keep fairly dry. Just a little bit nippy, though, so if you are coming up, do bring your bubble coat or your toque or your anorak. Here comes the free kick. It'll be Ashlyn Grimm, left-footed in-swinger, hung up to the back post, headed down. Isabel Dobbin got the head to it. It came off the backside of, I think it was the number 7 for Douglas. Yeah, it came off of Katie Buckle and actually goes out for a goal kick. Great initial chance there, and if you're a Falcons fan, that's the head you want at least falling to is Isabel Dobbin. She's lethal from that type of space. And I think Langara get a bit lucky there. Jasser lifts the ball over top for Amber Wells. She's onside. Wells all by herself, though. Can she take on the defender? Still going Wells in the penalty box. Cuts it back. Looking for Marina Pashalides. Keeps it alive, though, Wells. Now she goes for a shot. Came off the outside of her right boot. Erin Bandel almost picks up the pieces and then wipes out the goalkeeper there just to let her presence known, Bandel. And she'll get a stern talking to. We're less than 3 minutes in, and already the tackles are flying in on the goalkeepers. But chances from both ends there as Well and Pashalides almost managed to conjure up a chance there before Bandel wiped out the keeper. Under 4 minutes gone now, still 0-0, but KG, this match is not to start, and it's just what you like to see in these semifinals. Both clubs will be wanting to conserve their energy, as I mentioned, though. Whoever wins this gets the unenviable task, I should say, of having to take on VIU, and they're no pushovers if their regular season record is anything to go off of. Sprayed ball there from, I believe it was Cassidy Kwan, rolls out into touch, right by the Douglas bench. And of course, at the full time of this one, we'll head down to pitch level where some of the crew here at Capilano University will be interviewing some of the players from both squads. So after I sign off here at the broadcast location, we'll throw it right down to field level where players and maybe even some coaches will take the microphone and talk about what happened here in this encounter. Marina Pashalides might have just wanted to roll that one on the deck for, I believe it was Manat Dillon who had made a vertical run there, but Pashalides tried to just whip it long, and Douglas will have a chance to break here. Cassidy Kwan breaks it up, though, and we'll play it right up Main Street. Vanessa Chung in between the sticks for Douglas. She's wearing head-to-toe yellow. Off to your left, she'll pick it up. Black sleeves and black gloves and a black headband as well. Her opposite number, All-Star Kate Bonazu, head-to-toe teal, or is it coral, or is it seafoam? I've been battling with this one all season long, struggling to find out what combo of blue and green that keeper's kit is for Langara. I'll have to hit up their media crew and see if they can give me a definitive answer. We'll pull up the swatch and the crayons and see if we can find the right color there. Throw in the way of Langara deep in their own half. Wells is getting taken down from behind. Some of the Douglas fans didn't like that call, but I think it was a fair one. She kind of got dragged back and kind of got clipped on the heels, did Wells, and she's not one to go down easy. She's a tough customer as well. Cassidy Kwan now has it, middle of the park. Right-footed ball to her right for Melina Glavis, who usually is a midfielder, but is playing as a right back today. Glavis is clever with the ball, though. She doesn't miss a lot of passes. Unfortunately, that one went a bit wayward, but she missed a bit of time in the middle of the season, did Glavis. Her, along with Madison Hung and Erin Bandel, were some of the bright spots for Langara in that opening 5 or so matches where they really earned that second place that they finished in. I mentioned it before the broadcast, but their last 6 matches have been tough. That looks like a hair offside for Anna Claver Valdez as she managed to retrieve it. But before I was getting to that point, Langara, no wins in their last 6 and only 1 goal from their last 6 matches. So they're really struggling to score goals at the moment, are Langara. And what a time it would be to turn that around and potentially get a victory here. Douglas, meanwhile, as I said, 1 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss. So not a scorching run of form, but just a bit more consistent than the Falcons coming into this one. The goal difference is amazing, though. Langara are -9 in the goal difference category, whereas Douglas are actually at 0. So despite being behind in points, the Douglas Royals score goals for fun, it seems, and Isabel Dobbin, their leading scorer, 7 goals in 12 matches, is definitely a leading contributor in that category for sure. Miata She'll have the ball on a throw-in now. Some large umbrellas down by the fence here, so forgive the broadcaster if he's slightly obstructed, but on a day like this, you don't blame him for bringing out the large golf umbrellas, as the forecasts are calling for a bit of rain. Buckle. That's a tidy ball into the path of, I believe it was Dobbin. It is. She sprays it centrally. Beg your pardon, it was actually Jessica Parks, who's rocking a very similar kind of braided ponytail to Dobbin. Same colored hair as well, so another one for the broadcaster to have to keep his eye on. Langara struggling to put together passes in a meaningful way now in the middle of the park. Douglas just look a bit sharper at the moment. Anna Cleva Valdez, could she reel this one in? She will. That's a great play by the number 5, who looked like she was chasing a bit of a lost cause there, but manages to get to it. Can she put in a cross? She wraps her right foot around it, but just didn't do enough to really put it into a dangerous area. I think it might have drifted out of play as well. It'll be a goal kick for Langara. We're just under 8 minutes in, and it's 0-0.
We have a red?
Giovinazzo has the ball at her right foot. To Dylan now. Dylan spreads it centrally, but it just evaded Amber Wells, who had kind of showed a bit short just as the pass was released, and Douglas might have another chance going forward. Bandel now. I think Bandel really needs to put her foot down and show her quality in this one. And she's kind of been put on more of a right wing role, and I prefer Bandel a little bit more central. She's so good at holding up the ball and shielding and creating options for her teammates. I'll go back to the last match of the season where she created, I want to say, at least a half a dozen chances. Of course, the match only ended 1-1, but I think Bandel's so good in the middle of the park, and she's so creative and has a real vision and a real eye for attacking play that I think maybe being on the right might just isolate her ever so slightly. We'll see what it does for the creativity and the passing of the Falcons here. Throw in from Melina Glavis right into the lap of Bandel. She does well to control it. Wells now. Annette Hernandez as well, also very good on the ball, but she's been kind of forced wide right. And Hernandez will want to be making amends. She missed a penalty in the last match of the season, which you don't want to say might have turned the tides in that one, but you would think it would have helped them over to a 2-1 victory against bottom of the table Capilano. And Hernandez usually spot on from that kind of range. Like I said, will be wanting to prove herself and make amends for that mistake. Douglas now in control amongst their back four. Marina Pashalidis now with a right taped knee will make the chase over to Parks. It's a good tackle from Giovinazzo just to keep Dobbin at bay. Wells now takes turns. Infield for Di Ruggiero. Marina Pashalidis has the ball in the back of the net, but it's offside. And you know what? That wasn't by much. I'm on a bit of a diagonal angle at the moment right now, but if she was off, she was not off by much. Let me tell you, that was a pretty tight call. And I think the referee probably erring on the side of caution. It's good finish from Pashalidis as well, who's been stopped from positions like that earlier in the campaign. It just goes to show that despite controlling the play in this opening 11 or so minutes, Douglas Rowe will definitely have to be wary of the counterattack. Ball over the top for Dobbin. Onside. Could she have a right-footed blast? She does! And she scrapes it just wide right. Very uncharacteristic of Dobbin, who, like I said, from that range, point blank, she doesn't miss many opportunities. And that time, I think it just clipped the underneath of her stud. She didn't really get a full instep on it, and she was only able to guide it wide right. Unfortunate miss there for Dobbin. First real chance of the matchup for sure as the flag stayed down. Buckle. Beg your pardon, it's actually Rogers who played a ball up the middle of the park. It's cut out. Miata now will have a chance. She gets it to Park on the right-hand side here. Miata takes a step forward. She gets past Wells. Tries to ping the ball forward again for Isabel Dobbin to chase. This time it's Cassidy Kwan who cuts across the line of play there and just bodies Dobbin out of the picture. And it's another clutch and claim for Kate Bonazou. Giovinazzo. Right foot to her left for Manat Dillon. Manat Dillon's going to go for a bit of a run here. Tried to bend an outside of the right foot ball for, I think it was Jaster to chase. It would have been a tough ask for her to get on the end of that one. The Douglas defense had it pretty well taken care of. Annette Hernandez comes away with it in the middle of the park to Glavis. Good play there from Bandel, who's getting herself more involved. That's just what you want to see from the Langara number 9. Unfortunately, nobody central there to pick on the end of that one. Amber Wells was the closest. Fantastic ball there from Buckle. It's cut out by Valdez. Helped on to Parks. Oh, and that's a mistake from Kwan. It's fallen to Dobbin. Left-footed shot. It's in the back of the net. And the Douglas Royals will open the scoring here in this PACWEST BC Women's Provincial Semifinal. And who else would it be? Their talismanic number 10, Isabel Dobbin. 8 on the season. As it's an unfortunate slip for Cassidy Kwan in the back line, and it falls right to Dobbin, who lifts it over Bonazu, who had charged out to try and intercept that one. Probably deserved goal there for the Royals if they've been the busier of the two squads here by far so far. And now Langara will have to find an answer outside of the one Marina Pashalidis offside goal brought back. Langara haven't had a ton to plant their flag in so far early in this first half. Wells for Pashalidis. She could get onto the end of this one. She does. She does well to retrieve it, reel it in. Being hounded by Jessica Parks in the corner, though. Can she keep it alive? No, she can't. Her pass is forced off into touch. It'll be a throw in the way of the Royals. If you're just joining us, 14 minutes in, Isabel Dobbin with the opening goal here in the semifinals on the women's side.
Scored by number 10, Isabella Dobbin.
Parks. Ooh, that one looked like it just came out of play, and the referee did see that one. The referee caught that one. It's good to see a lot of the fans starting to show up here at Capu Squamish. Even some of the doggies coming out. And the ring's just holding off. It's behaving just for now. Foul the way of Douglas. The men's match coming up at 3 o'clock. Douglas also involved in that one as they'll take on the home club here in Squamish, if you will. Capilano. That's the men's encounter going on at 3 o'clock. The winner, I should say, the winner of that one, the men's encounter, will meet Langara tomorrow in the finals. The winner of this women's matchup right here takes on VIU, who will be a stern challenge. Good win there by Bandel. She takes it off the foot of Wells. This looks very clever from Langara. Unfortunately, it was Di Ruggiero. Just couldn't get to that one in the nick of time. Her and Pashalidis might have been away on a 2-on-1. Pashalidis now is going to take it to the corner flag. She'll ride one tackle. Again, it's Parks. I think that'll go out for a goal kick. It will. So far, Parks getting the better of Pashalidis in this battle down the left here. Vanessa Chung will have the mist in the mountains in the background as she kicks out to her right for Haley Rogers. And what a setting for some football. It's a lovely drive up here, as I mentioned, but once you get to the pitch as well, it certainly doesn't disappoint. The campus right here in the mountains, just off the Sea to Sky Highway. And it's a perfect little backdrop. A little bit brisk, a little bit chilly. But as far as views go, there's not much better that you can ask for here in BC. Pashalidis will win the throw-in. Giovinazzo, great throw there, right onto the boot of Amber Wells. She needs some help, though. She'll clip a ball in on the left foot. Once again, nobody central for Langara. They're getting bodies forward, but they're just not getting any support in from behind. Any late arriving support, and it's eventually snuffed out by a very stingy and potent Douglas defense. Bandel. I think that might have taken a handball. It did. And Langara will win the free kick, or is it a throw-in? No, it is a throw-in just in front of the Douglas bench there, who are all huddling up to keep warm. Wells, who's been the busiest of the players so far here for Langara. Dillon tries a back heel. Looks like it might have come off a hand, but the referee says play on. Wells, again, left-footed shot. She gets way underneath this one. It's hooped right up into the air, and Vanessa Chung will just wait for it to fall right into her waiting arms. Just under 17 minutes in. And Douglas have the 1-0 lead. Isabel Dobbin with her first of the postseason, 8th overall in 2025. Cassidy Kwan nods it back into the middle of the park. A little bit of a two-hander, though, on Dobbin. Ashlyn Grimm All-Star, as mentioned before this one of 2 for Douglas. What a bit of service there, and Dobbin gets on the end of it and falls down to the number 4, Justina Parks. It was a bang-bang play, and I don't know how much Justina knew about that one, but that was another real chance for Douglas. Fantastic ball, though, by Ashlyn Grimm. She hit it with purpose, she hit it with pace, and it found its intended target, which was Isabel Dobbin. You can see why she's taken home All-Star honors after that little bit of wizardry on the left foot. Excellent free kick there from the number 25, Ashlyn Grimm. From Langley, BC. So just a trip up the number 1 for Mrs. Grimm. Ball up to Dillon. She takes it down on her thigh. She has a bit of time to kind of wait for some options. She'll take it inside now. She has Wells. She also has Bandel. She gets to Bandel. Good bit of play here from the Falcons, and Bandel has picked out Glavis on the far side. Good overlapping run. Can she put a ball into the area, Glavis? She does. It's a right footer. It's dealt with by Rogers, though. Will it be a corner kick? Ooh, Glavis has actually won it there. Well done by Glavis. Another ball into the area. Forces the corner kick. Well done by Melina Glavis, the number 7 for Langara. Linking up well with Bandel down that right-hand side, and now Langara will have a chance to create something offensively. Annette Hernandez will have the left-footed in-swinger from the far corner kick. Off with the mountains in the distance. I was just talking with Sean Shook, the Langara media man, before this one, and he says, yep, that all used to be trees, but they had to come down, and now we have this beautiful mountain view with the Capilano University in the background, headed down by Giovinazzo. It was a glancing header there. The ball didn't have a ton of whip on it, but it held in the air just long enough for Giovinazzo to get a leap at it. She ended up putting the forehead to it, but it just carried out wide left with not a lot of real sting behind it, but good effort there from the Falcons. As, like I said, all it takes is one chance, one counterattack, one corner kick, and hey, that might have to be the way home here for Langara. We're going off this opening 20 minutes or so of play. It looks like Douglas are going to control the play here today unless there's a certain shift in the Langara tactics, but that's not to say that Langara can't butter their bread with some set-piece service or a good old-fashioned counterattack. Renat Dillon. This is better for Langara now as they're occupying the final third and actually planting their flag down here. And the Douglas Royals fans, they don't mess about. They've actually brought out like a fire ring and like hot dogs and weenies. They've got the full camping. They're glamping here at Capilano University Squamish campus, let me tell you. They've got pizza. They've got the fire ring. I think somebody had the ukulele and was playing Kumbaya earlier. It's all happening for the Douglas fans. They're enjoying themselves at the moment, and they'll be enjoying themselves even more if the Douglas ladies can make their way to the finals. Deep free kick for, I believe it's Cassidy Kwan. It is. I'm just trying to peek underneath the Capilano University tent here. Cassidy Kwan is going to have this one, and everybody's in the box except for Ashleen Jasser, more or less. Marina Pashalidis is hanging just outside the area, but it looks like they're going to throw everything they have at this one, the Falcons, and try and get an equalizer. 21st minute, 1-0 Douglas. What can Langara do here? Right footer with some zip. It's pretty much hit on a straight line. Header! Knotted down by, I think it was Giovinazzo again. This time a little bit better. She probably was off by about 2 or 3 feet of Vanessa Chung's right post, but once again, Giovinazzo showing she can be a real danger, a real weapon from those set pieces, especially corner kicks, long-range corner kicks in the air. As Langara aren't necessarily known for their aerial dual prowess, but Giovinazzo so far is batting 100% in that category. Hoofed up the park for Anna Claver Valdez to chase Cassidy Kwan. Takes it on the right foot. Claver Valdez comes away with it. It's opened up in the middle of the park here. Claver Valdez can suss it out. She was trying to settle herself on the right foot, and by that time, Dobbin and I believe it was Emma Saran on the far left-hand side, their options were cut out. Parks for Dobbin. Awkwardly takes it down, but it does the trick. Valdez has it now. Saran is going for a long ranger there. It comes off the outside of the boot. It will be a goal kick. Kate Bonozu will be forced to chase it. 22 minutes in the books. Just getting a peek over there at the substitutes bench. It looks like A few Langara substitutes are just up off the bench taking their paces. Doesn't look like anything imminent will happen here. Meanwhile, Douglas look like they're cozy. They look like they're ready for some cocoa on the far side. Speaking of cocoa, something I should have brought up here today. It is a wee bit chilly. Definitely double sock it today. I've got layers all over, but I didn't double sock it, and I'm paying for it dearly right now. Favor Valdez gets around Dylan. Cassidy Quanner make it Giovinazzo, stoops the head in to win the tackle. Great ball there from, I think it was Di Ruggiero to continue to play forward, but Douglas seemed to be winning everything at the moment. Miata now, this is a real chance, just outside the penalty box on the right-hand side. She tries to lace in a low, hard cross, but Giovinazzo comes flying across, and at the moment, Giovinazzo is doing a bulk of the work for Langara. Aaron Bandel now is sprinting towards the Langara touchline. I'm not sure what for. Yeah, I'm just trying to get a look at what's going on with Bandel. I think she's getting her socks or her knees taped up here. And they're going to be forced to defend this corner. A player down here. It's whipped into the near post. It looked like it almost carried into the net. A bit of an optical illusion there for the broadcaster, but thankfully for the Falcons and their fans, it went in and then straight out. Aaron Bandel's now back into play, and it looks like she just got the right knee taped up. Perhaps she was bleeding, and it's probably what it was. I know in modern soccer, it is frowned upon to kind of be playing while bleeding. You either have to switch your shirt or tape yourself up or what have you, and I think that's probably what happened there. Of course, back in the old days, unless there was a bone sticking out, they'd less would let you keep playing, but erring on the side of caution these days. Just Bandel gets over, gets a quick wrap, and she'll be good to go here. We're back underway. Man at Dylan. Up the park for Wells, who's a bit isolated. Tries to cut it inside on Katie Buckle, but just couldn't split the wickets there, Wells. Probably the best player so far offensively is Wells for Langara, while Giovinazzo has been keeping the Falcons in it on the back line. It's been a real group effort from Douglas at the moment. They're playing a little bit better, a little bit more cohesive as a team at the moment than the Falcons. Bandel now. She's going to rush in. This is good play from Bandel. She's gotten it forward for Wells. They've won it down in the penalty box. That's a good play. I think you got to get Bandel more involved. Get her more central. Right-footed shot. Bandel's going to cork one. Again! My goodness, what a rocket there from Aaron Bandel. And the Falcons, despite giving up possession for a bulk of the 25 minutes, have equalized with an absolute thunderbolt from their leading scorer, number 9, Aaron Bandel. It's 1-1. My goodness me, I said they needed to get her more involved. They needed to get her more central, and I think that's what she can pull off when she's more involved. I think her and the likes of Hernandez need to become fulcrums and pivots in the middle of the park here. You can't have ladies with that quality sequestered to the right touchline and right back and what have you. You need to get them involved, and I think Aaron Bandel right there proved exactly what she can do when she's crashing and bashing and in amongst the play. It's 1-1. Fantastic goal there from Bandel from 20 yards out, and that's going to be tough to top here in the provincial semis or even the finals up in Squamish. Good stuff there from the Falcons. So both clubs' leading scorers have come to play here today. Dobbin for the Royals and Bandel for the Falcons. Here comes the Royals again now. It's Justina Parks cruising up that left channel. And that's just what this game needed. I had a slight fear there that Douglas might start to walk away with it after a while. Langara were giving up a bit of real estate to them. They had their spells, did Langara, but Douglas, like I said, were looking more cohesive, the squad, but Langara through set pieces and some just never say die play. That was all Amber Wells and Aaron Bandel pressing the defense of Douglas, which hadn't really happened in the opening 27 minutes or so. It wasn't until Bandel and Wells just teamed up and said, you know what, we're taking this ball, no mercy. All hands on deck, and you can call it optimistic, you can call it fortuitous, or you can call it pure skill, but they all count the same on the score sheet, and Bandel's rocket of a shot has them level at 1-1. Kwan now steps up to win the ball and shoulder off Parks. That's good play there from Kwan, who now has Parks draped on her like a cheap suit and wins the free kick. Fantastic play there from the 13, number Kwan, Cassidy Kwan, the number 13. And it looks like we will have a substitution here. Ooh, and this could be a real weapon for Langara if it's who I think it is coming on. Marina Pashalides is off, and it is number 5, Madison Hung, who is an absolute terror to defend and was very involved and very crucial to the opening part of the season for the Langara Falcons and their goal-scoring. Long raking ball from Cassidy Kwan into the penalty area. I think that came off a Douglas head. It will be a corner kick. And all of a sudden, the game looked like it's been turned on his head here just under a half hour in. It looked like Douglas might be having their way with the Falcons, but Bandel, and now with the inclusion of Madison Hung, could they reverse their fortunes? Melina Glavis just being involved here helps as well. They've got their 3 real stud players from earlier in the campaign back here. And if they can start firing on all cylinders, it could be a long night here for Douglas. Annette Hernandez wins it back. It's going to fall for the number 25. She thought about uncorking one. We know she can. Hernandez loves shooting from distance. She's more of a left footer, though. Glavis wins the ball back. She's under pressure, though, Glavis. She does well to keep it alive. Under pressure from, I think it was 4 green shirts, though. Good play by Glavis, who could have easily been overwhelmed there. 29 minutes in. The Langara Falcons are coming to life now. Bandel's still playing on the right. I think they need to get her more central. I think they need to get her and Hernandez more central. Wells. She needs help. She's going to get Bandel. Does she get it to her in time? She does. Good play there by Wells and Bandel. They have a serious understanding, those two. I think you can get them closer together. You could really see some good link-up play. Langara win the throw-in just in front of the Douglas bench. They brought out the pom-poms, the vuvuzelas, and the cowbells have the royal support. Something you love to see. I think it'll be a goal kick. It will. Or maybe a very deep throw-in, I beg your pardon. Took over the corner flag there, but I think just stayed away from being a goal kick by like a ball's width. And it'll be, is it Glavis over to take? It is Melina Glavis, yes. For Dylan. Bandel wins it down for Wells. Can she put in a cross? Wells, she does. It's a bit of a skimmer of a cross. There was right at head height to nod away for Haley Rogers, who at the pace it was hit just kind of had to glance her head and redirect it. Giovinazzo, silky as you like in the center back position, dancing around attacking players. It can be risky, but if you can pull it off, it looks silky. Madison Hung now, she's on the trot, and she can dribble. She can dribble for days. She's going to take on Miata now. Hung gets to the outside of Miata. Will it be a goal kick? It will. I thought Miata may have taken the last touch, but good signs of life there from Madison Hung, who that's kind of her calling card, those vertical dribbles in the channels. A very old school winger of sorts, loves to cut the ball back but can also score as well. As mentioned, she's been injured for a good portion of the season as well and was still up until today tied for leading goals with Erin Bandel as far as the Langara Falcons scoring charts were concerned. Free kick for, I beg your pardon, goal kick for Vanessa Chung. She'll play it out to her left for Ashlyn Grimm. With her cultured left foot, she'll lift into the middle of the park. Cassidy Kwan wins down that ball for Di Ruggiero. Di Ruggiero lost out that headed duel with Buckle. And now it's a scrap in the middle of the park. Dylan's lost it to, I think it was Buckle again, who just managed to roll Dylan. It was good physical play there in the middle of the park by Buckle. Cut out again by Cassidy Kwan, who after that early error, I beg your pardon, on the Isabel Dobbin goal, she's recovered nicely. Long raking cross from Grimm, finds Clever Valdez. I think she got a touch to it too, but she was kind of trying to blast it on the volley, run onto it in her stride, and that would have taken something very pinpoint and something very magnificent. Clever Valdez does well just to get a touch, I think. Unfortunately, it flies off of her right boot, and it'll go for a throw in the way of Ava Giovinazzo. Giovinazzo into Hung, who's going to go for a dribble here is Hung. She's been picked off, though, by Claver Valdez, her opposite number 5. Giovinazzo steps in, loses the tackle, and things are starting to open up here for Douglas. Good midfield play there by Di Ruggiero, just to stifle Douglas ever so slightly. It looked like something might be on for the switch there for the ladies in green. But Di Ruggiero, who, as I mentioned, scored in the last match of the season. And now Hernandez is going to go from half-range. Oh, my goodness me! Oh! Oh! And I thought Erin Bandel had the goal of the tournament. Take a bow, Ernette Hernandez. We know she likes to shoot from range, but that was something else. Probably 10 yards in from the halfway line, she saw the keeper off her line and absolutely launches one that knuckles over the keeper, bulges the twine, and Langara. Things right around here in the 33rd minute. The Whitecaps Academy player, Ernette Hernandez, as I said, missed a peek in the last game of the season, but she has made amends with that one. My goodness. Wow. The Langara Falcons had only scored 1 goal in their last 6 matches heading into this one. They've now scored 2 goal-of-the-season contenders in the space of probably 15 minutes. Unbelievable stuff. This PACWEST BC Provincial semifinal, this ladies' early match has really become a gem. Amber Wells gets clobbered from behind. Free kicked away the Falcons right on the halfway line. 34th minute. Just about to tick over to the 35th if you're just joining us. What a matchup we have here. Isabel Dobbin opened the scoring on a Langara Falcons defensive error before Erin Bandel lashed a 25-yard shot into the top corner of the Douglas net. And about 15 minutes later, Ernette Hernandez lifted one in, probably from about 40 yards out, over the keeper. When she hit it, I thought, you know, bless her heart for trying. But when it hit the twine, my goodness me, she made it look too easy. That looked like that's something she can do in her sleep. Excellent play there. Now Amber Wells has it in the left channel. Slide tackle there from, I believe it was Miata. Gets the ball, though. Takes Amber Wells with her. It'll be a... And Wells looks like she is in some distress here. It looked like the player got the ball there. I'd love to see a replay of that one. I'm kind of tucked in behind 2 tents here. It looked like the player got the ball, but she definitely wiped out Wells with her. She went through Wells to get the ball. At the moment, Wells is in some discomfort. And there were some fans who were very lively here, did not like the call from the referee, who wasn't exactly Johnny on the spot to make it. He had to charge in before he had really seen what happened. And will it be an early night for Amber Wells? You certainly hope not. Outside of Bandel and Hernandez, she's been the most promising player offensively for the Falcons. Of course, the late matchup today is the men's semifinal. Douglas College. In the second spot, they'll take on the host club, Capilano. The winner of that one goes on to meet Langara, so a potential rematch of last year's final where Douglas fell to Langara in penalty kicks. And there is a bit of distance between Douglas and Capilano in the standings heading into this one, about 8 points and I think about 3 victories worth. So on paper, it looks like the Douglas men's team do have a slight edge ahead of Capilano, but we'll see what gives coming up at 3 o'clock. That's a late match, and we'll have it right here on the PACWEST YouTube stream. In the meantime, it looks like Amber Wells is up and okay, and that's positive, exactly what you want to see, especially if you're a Langara Falcons fan. And it will be a deep throw-in, I believe, right. Oh, no, it's actually going to be a corner kick. It'll be Di Ruggiero over to take. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger, and the Falcons are putting everyone in the box except for Jasser and Glavis. And if Langara were to go ahead and get another one, that would be a very uphill climb for the Douglas Royals. Ball floated into the penalty box. Giovinazzo is closest to it. It's nodded clear by Miata, though. Out the far left-hand side for Ashlyn Grimm. Amber Wells now back onto the park. Ooh, and that was Jasser flying in for a diving tackle. Excellent tackle there from Bandel, who gets it spot on. Just to slow down that Douglas attack. That was burning up the park for the Royals. They were making some kind of hay, and Jasser just got bypassed there on the left touchline, the Douglas left touchline. If it wasn't for Bandel steaming in there with that accurate sliding tackle, might have been a real chance on net for the Douglas Royals. The rain really starting to come down now here at Capilano. Ball floated into the box. Parks was closest to it, as was Anna Claver-Valdez, but steady hands there from the all-star Kate Bonazu. She just picks it out of the air, and she'll usher her troops forward. If you're just joining us, 38th minute, 2-1 Langara. It was Douglas opening the scoring with Isabel Dobbin before Erin Bandel and Annette Hernandez had goal of the season contenders with 2 right-footed rockets apiece. I think I'm going to give the nod to Hernandez just because hers was probably about 15 yards further out. But my goodness me. Excellent stuff from Langara. Pacey through ball looking for Madison Hung. She's going to have to get on her bike here as Hung. She's probably about 10 yards away from it before it rolls out into touch. Good effort there from, I believe it was Jasser or maybe even Dylan to get the ball forward. And ever since that goal, Douglas have really struggled to kind of find the rhythm that they had in that opening 20-25 minutes. Ball helped into the middle of the park by Hernandez. DiRuggiero lifts it over top for Bandel, who kind of shoulders it to herself. She's going to try and ride the tackle of Grimm now. Oof, that looked like that was dicey for Grimm. She had to be spot on with her disposal / distribution of that ball, and she was, as Bandel was all over her. And Bandel is so rangy and stridey. She can just poke the leg in front of you and just snap in and take the ball. It's tough to defend against the likes of Bandel, who have such a good skill set when it comes to holding off players and winning balls back. DiRuggiero gets hacked from behind. That'll be a free kick. That was a bit cynical as well from Katie Buckle.
It was actually about 50-50 presentation from basketball. So it's that like a full 5-on-5 practice squad.
Cassidy Kwan hoofs the ball forward in the left channel. Amber Wells almost got her ponytail to it. That would have helped it on for Madison Hung, and I think Madison Hung can get in behind this back line. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Falcons. They need to get her in that comfortable position. That's really what stirred the Kool-Aid for the Falcons early in the campaign, was that number 5 Madison Hung. Good play there by Park. She gets to the outside of Jasser, but not Kwan. Can Kwan keep it in? She can't. And I believe it'll be a corner kick from this near right-hand side by the Capilano University bulletin board and the PACWEST stand-up banners here. 5 minutes to go plus possible stoppage time here in this first half. 2-1 Langara. Ooh, that one flashes across the area. Grimm has a smash, and another one just over the bar. Oh, it's Haley Rogers who arrived late. It bobbled around there. It was pinballing around the penalty box. And Rogers, who's usually very sure-footed from that range, kind of had to take it on the half volley, running into it. And that wasn't over by much. That was probably 1 or 2 feet over the bar, and Kate Bonazu didn't look like she had any real answers for it. Good play there from Douglas, who, if they could get an equalizer going into the halftime locker room, I think that would buoy their spirits ever so slightly. Ball into the middle of the park, takes a hop over Jasser's head, and Miata will run over to retrieve it. Miata. Throw into the path of Dobbin. She gets fronted by Giovinazzo, but it managed to squeeze between the 2 defenders, and Dobbin, I beg your pardon, almost comes away with it. She gets the ball forward. It's a clever ball, too, for Claver-Valdez. Could she have a shot? She does! It's right at Bonazu. Good play by Douglas there. Way to keep it alive by Dobbin, and even better whipped in cross. I didn't say who the player was who whipped in the cross. I think it might have been Parks. And now a chance at the other end as Amber Wells has to try and beat Haley Rogers to it. Rogers just steams in front of Wells. End-to-end stuff here at the moment in the PACWEST semifinals. Good play there by Douglas, as I mentioned there. And good play by Claver-Valdez. The ball was flashed across the area, and she realized that she had enough time to take a touch and unleash her shot. Fortunately, her shot, while hit with pace, was hit directly at the waiting mitts of Kate Bonazou, but promising play there from Douglas, I beg your pardon, who clearly are not going to go off into the sunset or the fog set or whatever you want to call this atmosphere in Squamish. It's misty, it's rainy, it's cold. It's a perfect fall/winter day for some provincial soccer, let's be honest here. If you are making the trek up or the trek down, if you're coming from Whistler or Pemberton perhaps, it's a beautiful drive at the moment. The yellows and oranges of the leaves on the trees as you drive by, plus the water, plus the snow on the mountains, a little bit of fog and a little bit of haze hanging over. Almost looks like something you'd see in the opening or closing scene of a movie. Perhaps a PACWEST provincial movie down the road. Who knows? A motion picture. Major motion picture. Ball hooked up into the middle of the park for Justine Parks. She can't reel it in. Di Ruggiero loses her battle with Anna Claver Valdez. Hernandez over the top looking for Bandel. Can she get there, Bandel? Once again, she does. Cuts it inside, and then again on, I think it was Lucy Baker who just got undone there by Bandel. Unfortunately, Bandel couldn't get past the second line of defense, which was Ashlyn Grimm. They do keep the ball alive, though, in the opposition half, do Langara. Giovinazzo now. Tidy ball on the deck for Di Ruggiero. Cleared by Dobbin, who is dropping deep just to help out defensively. Just under 2 minutes to go before the halftime whistle here. Kwan sees her. Clearance come off of Claver Valdez. Kwan's going to move herself up forward to try and win the second piece, but she's left a bit of space behind her as Kwan. There's a few Douglas Royals hanging off the last line of defense. Miata, can she keep it in? She can't. That one just drifted out of play ever so slightly. And it looks like everyone's getting parking tickets, which reminds me I haven't paid for my parking, so I'll have to run over on the opposite side of the field and pay for that parking. And now there's a mad dash. All the fans are making their way to the parking lot to avoid get tickets. I can't say I blame them. The second this halftime whistle goes, I'm making sure I go over there and don't have a ticket on my vehicle. But we've got a halftime approaching, and it looks like Douglas are rapping at the chamber door to try and get another one here and bring things back level. Di Ruggiero into the path of Hung. Skirts past 1 and 2. Hung clips it forward for Bandel. She's onside Bandel. She's not going to be able to outpace Lucy Baker, though. Baker has no choice but to put it off into touch. It will be a deep throw-in with about 15 seconds plus stoppage time here to go in this first half. Hung, right-footed shot into a dangerous area. I thought Bandel might try and lash out a leg at that one, but it was a bit too... I think I heard 2 minutes of added time from the PA announcer, but yeah, I think Bandel could have maybe lashed out a right leg at that one. It was hit pretty diagonally, though. It would have been a tough ask even for Bandel. I think mission number 1, 2, and 3 right now for Langara is just get this baby into the halftime locker room without conceding an equalizer. Long, floated diagonal ball for Parks to chase. She can't get on the end of it. And again, this rain and this sleet is just helping the ball on the surface of the pitch. It's turf, but it's like a very brand new turf. And it's skipping and it's sliding. And some of those long diagonal steamed-in balls are having a little extra carry and giving the forwards for both squads a little bit extra work to try and get on the end of them. Wells loses out her aerial duel. Manat Dillon as well. The ball flies up into the middle of the park for Hernandez. Ping, ping, ping. The ball's just bouncing around. No one can really put a touch on it until now Parks. For Justina Parks. It's cleared by Hernandez, though. Only as far as Hung. Hung can't keep it in, though. Now the rain's really starting to come down here in Squamish. Giovinazzo, side-footed clearance. Hernandez. Amber switches the play for Bandel, and she might have a free walk on net here. Bandel, she's going to have a try and rip from distance now. It's a bit of a game of horse now between Bandel herself and Hernandez just to see who can get the most audacious goal. And I don't think Vandal was going to outpace Lucy Baker there, so she thought, hey, I might as well have a rip. Probably not a lot of time left here in the half. Just looking across at my vehicle, it doesn't look like there's a ticket on my windshield, so I'm optimistic. Giveaway there by the keeper, Chung. Oh, look, even the dogs are out here at the park today. You'll love to see it. But Labs just walked by. Anna Claver Valdez, maybe the last chance of the half here. Cuts it back for Parks. Parks has a right-footed rip. Not a lot of steam on it. And Bonazou will clutch it, claim it, and take a bit of time off the clock and just drop down to her knees. And time not necessarily of the essence right now, as Langara are just trying to wind down the clock here. I'm sure if they could get one on the counterattack, they wouldn't mind it, but they're not going to try and get too creative here. I'm sure Coach Alvin Prasad will just want them to see out this one in a professional manner. Ball over the top for Wells. Good release there. She's onside. Well onside. She doesn't have a lot of options, though. She cuts it back. Against Lucy Baker. Again for Baker. Plays it across for Hung. Hung's there! Oh, just a body width away for Hung, and it took a slight deflection just to take it away from the number 5. Good play there by Amber Wells, who did just enough to hold it up to allow Hung to arrive late in the penalty box there. Good play by Wells. Hernandez and Vandal have been spot on here today for the Falcons. They need their contributions moving forward, and if Hung can add an additional spark, the better for the ladies in orange. The referee points to the halfway line, and that is halftime of the first match in our PACWEST BC Soccer Provincial Semifinal. The ladies up first, Langara leading 2-1. Isabel Dobbin opened the scoring before Bandel equalized, and Hernandez extended the lead with an absolute blast from about 40 yards out. We'll take a quick 15-minute break, and we'll come back with the second half, and we'll also get you set up for the men's semifinal as well. Douglas taking on Capilano. That kicks off at 3 p.m. Capilano University Squamish Campus, the host site of the PACWEST BC Provincial Soccer Championships.
please look for the indigo QR code posted on the light standards and poles in the parking lot. Scan the codes and pay for parking fees today.
Yeah, didn't hit that section, so I got lucky.
Well, did they already take it over there?
No, they didn't. And that's where I was parked. So I got lucky.
Oh, that reminds me, they're giving us the area to be on people's games. Folks have a microphone and it's coming to the speakers here. So we don't have like the actual audio feed except for what you
Yeah, like there and there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously not this one because you guys need to see each other, but like, yeah, like this whole kind of blocks each other. We're back underway at the PACWEST Provincial CCAA Soccer Championships at the University of Capilano Squamish campus. It's a doubleheader today. The semifinals, the women's match, right here in front of your very eyes. We'll get you the score, the goal scores, and what have you just shortly. And, of course, the men's match coming up at 3 o'clock between Douglas and Capilano. This early match, the women's encounter, Douglas got out to a 1-0 lead through their leading scorer, Isabel Dobbin, before two absolute world-class goals from Langara brought them to 2-1. This could be an early chance here from Douglas as they've managed to suss out some numbers. Good header away by Melina Glavis to spare the blushes of the Langara defense, who are caught woefully outnumbered there in these opening stages. Douglas look like they're ready to try and get that equalizer here. They have come out of the halftime locker room shot out of a can. It looks like Ava Giovinazzo is going to win that one. As mentioned, two world-class goals from the Langara Falcons. One from Aaron Vandal, a 25-yard right-footed top corner blast, followed by Annette Hernandez, more or less hoofing it in from the halfway line. 2-1 is the score. Langara playing in their all-white kits today, all-white tops, shorts, orange socks with a little bit of orange and black piping and trim, which is very fitting. Halloween is just around the corner. Kate Bonazou in net to the left for Langara. She's wearing the teal kit with red boots and white mitts. The Douglas Royals, meanwhile, are in their head-to-toe royal green with a little bit of forest green piping and trim. They also have some silver and white lettering. Classic strips, these Douglas Royal green kits. And, of course, their keeper, Vanessa Chung, off to our right in head-to-toe yellow with the black headband and the black long sleeve and black mitts as well. Really starting to pour buckets down. Heavens have opened up as promised. 1 degree, rainy, and maybe even some snow in the finals tomorrow. Heck, we might even see some here today. But at the moment, it's just the wet stuff. So if you are coming down, bring your anorak, bring your windbreaker, bring your toque, bring your bubble coat, whatever you got, and definitely bring money to pay for parking with, because there was a huge rush from the fans at halfway. Everybody going to their car to pay for parking, and I don't think there were too many tickets handed out. So hopefully nobody's afternoon was spoiled up here in lovely Squamish by those nasty parking attendants. All right, there's my rant on the parking attendants. I'll do it again tomorrow. Tune in right here, same bat time, same bat channel. In the meantime, Langara have a free kick with Cassidy Kwan, right-footed from some range, but as we've seen from Langara today, shots from range aren't really an issue. Cassidy Kwan standing over this one right-footed. Is she going to go for a shot? She is! It's got some steam on it! Goes well over Vanessa Chung's net and screws off wide to the right. Crack staff here at Capilano, making sure everyone's getting taken care of for parking. Chris Rayside and the crew, excellent stuff here at Capilano. They want to make sure everyone has a good time here and no one has to pay any nasty parking tickets. All right, back to the action. Like I said, everyone's just really concerned about parking at the moment, but I think we all got it settled. 49th minute, still 2-1 Langara. Now they're wrapping at the chamber door after Douglas came flying out of the gates in the second half. Anna Claver Valdez now takes it to her right foot. Jessica Parks, right-hand side. And she's scraping across. She'll have to get around Madison Tung. She does ever so well to do so. Clips one in on the left foot. It didn't have a ton of pace, and it didn't have a lot of lift on it. It was side-footed cleanly away at the top of the 18-yard box. 14, Marina Pasqualetti, beg your pardon. That's 14 on the other squad. Emma Saran with a left-footed uncorked shot there that looked like it might trouble Kate Bonazou, but it ended up holding up in this sea-to-sky air and didn't really have enough weight on it to really cause any trouble for Bonazou. Middle of the park now for Dillon. She cuts it out. Get a halfway ball back. Cassidy Kwan's on the trot to try and retrieve it, but Bonazou saw that one coming on Main Street. Now she's off her line. She needs to make her paces back. It's cleared by Glavis, though. Miata. Douglas have come out with a renewed energy here. They look much like they did in the better portion of the first half. Ball headed straight up by Manat Dillon. She did a good bit of defensive work to just pop it out wide. I thought she might have tried to head it right up the middle of the park. I thought that might be dangerous, but she does just enough to bounce it off into touch. And Ashlyn Grimm will either have a very deep throw-in or a corner kick. It looks like it'll be a throw-in. Left-footed in-swinger. It's got some loft on it. Dobbin got to it to knot it down, and then I think it was Parks who waved at it with the left foot, and it wasn't off by much. Real chance there from Douglas. Alvin Prasad just asking for calmer heads to prevail amongst his Langara players. I was walking by the locker room at halftime, and Prasad heaping lots of praise on the girls for the two unbelievable goals, and I quote that he said they scored, but he also wants to see a little bit more intelligence tactically, and he really wants the girls to be following their markers here for the Falcons, as you know Douglas will have an answer. If not from Isabel Dobbin, then Claver Valdez or one of the two Parks. I believe that was against Annette Hernandez, and it'll go the way of the Falcons. All-star nods heading into this one for the women. Ashlyn Grimm and Isabel Dobbin for the ladies in green. For Langara, it was Caitlin Bonazou and Ava Giovinazzo. And of course, a handful. When I say a handful, I mean like Andre the Giant's handful of awards and nods and honors for the VIU ladies, including Year of the End Awards, which we'll announce tomorrow, and some All-Stars as well. I think they've got at least 6 All-Stars, so VIU definitely the cream of the crop this year in the PACWEST BC Women's Division, and they'll be in the finals tomorrow. They'll meet the winner of this one, which I'm sure if you're a VIU fan, you'll be wanting this game to go to kicks and hope that they both expend all their energy in this semifinal, so hopefully it's not too hard of an encounter on them tomorrow. But that being said, I think VIU would take down a team on their best day. They've been very good, have the Mariners this campaign, the ladies. And of course, reigning champions from last year, so no pushover. And Langara and Douglas still have a fair bit of work to do here, regardless of the result. Yeah, they still have the fire ring and the barbecue tent going over there for the Douglas Royal support. They don't mess around. It's about as proper tailgating as you can get for some local soccer. They've got all the amenities, as I call it. It's about as close to glamping as a soccer match can get. Annette Hernandez, she rakes in a left-footed ball. Bandel tried to chest it down, And I think there may have been a late infraction on Hernandez after she released the ball. I believe it was, maybe it was Parks there, because she got the ball away cleanly, did Hernandez, and Langara couldn't really do much with it. But there was something that happened behind the play there that I think the referee saw and said, you know what? Maybe Hernandez could have gotten that one away a bit cleaner. It's Cassidy Kwan again standing over this one. Cassidy Kwan again. It's a right footer. This one to the top of the 18 with a lot of loft on Giovinazzo. Almost heads it down. It comes out the far side of the area for Di Ruggiero. She tries to sombrero her defender, who I believe is Rogers. Rogers takes absolutely no chances and blasts it out into touch right by the Capilano University 10. Douglas looking to break here with Baker. She gets it to Dobbin. Dobbin puts a little extra muster on that one. Melina Glavis will be able to probably calmly shepherd this one out, unless Saran really makes an issue of it. Glavis takes no chances and just clips it out into touch about 20 yards further up the park. And Douglas right away back to work here. Is just going to let it roll here. No harm done there for the Falcons. 55 minutes in the books. Another 65, and the Langara Falcons will be able to say they have qualified for the PACWEST Finals, but that is another 35 minutes away. Still plenty of soccer to be played here. No out-of-town scoreboard. As mentioned, the next semifinal coming up is the matchup. Capilano, the host club, taking on Douglas, last year's finalists. That gets going at 3 o'clock. Rogers now being hounded by Wells. Wells keeping her honest. Miata arrives as a late option. Hernandez just rides the tackle of Parks there. Head tennis in the final third. Bandel eventually knocks it down and will carry on with it right by the corner flag. Hernandez skips past one. Can she put in a ball? She does. It's stomached away there by Lucy Baker. He just had to leap up ever so slightly. Now Cassidy Kwan has just played her pass. Melina Glavis is going to try and keep this one up. She does. Good play there by Glavis for Cassidy Kwan. As mentioned, usually that sort of range, just saw it skip up off her foot, and I don't think the rain is really helping matters. Some easily placed passes are screwing off the outside of the boots, and slippings are happening, and that's just part of the unfortunate nature of playing the Pacific Northwest in these fall seasons. It does get a bit damp. You do have to double sock it, sometimes plastic bag it. Dobbin, good layoff there for Parks. Parks has some space. Wide open was Emma Sarin and Anna Claver-Valdez, but the Langara defense just swarmed Parks in the middle of the park and stopped from one run. Grim over the top for Dobbin. She's onside. It got away from Dobbin, though. He was onside, and it was a good ball. Beg your pardon, 10-yarder. Aerial that was just kind of chipped into the area for Dobbin, and her first touch kind of let her down. She was impeded by Cassidy Kwan in the air. It's been a scrappy second half here. Annette Hernandez gets thrown into the Douglas bench there. And the foul will go the way of Langara. It doesn't look like there's any substitutes making any pastes. As mentioned. So we'll do a very quick from our broad. Then we'll throw it down. We'll have some post-match interviews with players and coaches alike once we determine who's heading off to that women's final to meet VIU tomorrow in the gold medal matchup. That'll be right here at noon at the University of Capilano. Capilano University, as some call it. The Squamish campus, of course. And an immaculate new pitch. Hernandez cuts back to her left, then to her right. Breaks in across, right-footed. Bandel takes it down. Can she ride the tackle? She's forced wide right, though, and then leaves her pass for Hernandez short. Good play there from Bandel and Hernandez, though, who, along with Amber Wells, seem to have a real understanding with each other when it comes to linking up for some offensive play there. Hernandez, right-footed, crossed into the area, finds Bandel, but it just skipped under her foot, Bandel. She still had work to do even if she was able to take it down. The number 9 for Langara, who of course opened the scoring for the Falcons today on an absolute class act shot. Glavis helps it into the middle of the park. No one can really control it. Amber Wells comes away with it eventually to the left for Madison Hung, who hasn't had a lot of touches in the second half. She's going to go for one of her trademark runs here. Could she get to the outside of Miata? She just put it too far ahead of herself. Whoa! And then she goes sent for a sliding knee tackle into the fence. I think it was just awkward. I don't think Miata did anything too malicious there. As mentioned, the turf is super slippery out here, and even with studs on, or I beg your pardon, with blades on, that kind of stuff can happen. There's just two ladies that were busting a gut to get to that ball, and I think by the time she wanted to put the brakes on Hung, it was too little too late. And this is unfortunate because Hung had just come back from injury. And the last thing I'm sure Alvin Prasad wants is another one of his attacking players out on the physio table with the finals potentially looming in the next 30 minutes or so. If you're just joining us, Isabel Daubin opened the scoring for Douglas before Aaron Bandel and Annette Hernandez answered the bell for the Falcons. No substitutions outside of that first half substitution between Pashalidis and Hung, and it looks like might be an early night for Hung. She's limping quite a bit. It looks like the right knee that's giving her trouble. I beg your pardon, the left knee. Glavis now takes a touch forward because she played into the area. She's going to work a 1-2 with Bandel. Bandel undone by Grimm there. It's a healthy duel that Grimm wins. This is promising here for Douglas. They've got some numbers and some space if they can suss it out. Grimm, left-footed into the path of Claver Valdez. This is a great weighted ball, but unfortunately, Kate Bonazu saw that one from a mile away and just had to take about a 20-yard march off her goal line to retrieve it. And Anna Claver Valdez run is all for naught. Looks like Madison Hung is back into this one. Positive stuff there from the number 5 in the Langara white shirt. Bandel now loses out to her counterpart, the number 25, Ashlyn Grimm. That's been a spirited duel, to say the least. Ooh, that's risky business there. It's a Chung who lets the ball run. And she almost ran right into Alexa Di Ruggiero at the back post. Annette Hernandez wins that one. Referee, I think, may have played advantage. Douglas comes away with it. The ball on the deck for Claver Valdez. This looks good. Can Cassidy Kwan put the final touch? And she does. With the throw in the way of Douglas. Claver Valdez has been on her bike all the second half. I'd love to see the kilometers that she's logged on her Fitbit, because she has not stopped running here today, Claver Valdez. Looks like there's still a goal in this, possibly for either squad. At the moment, Douglas just look a dash sharper than Langara. They look like they're ready to really get the ball forward with haste. They're not really mucking about with it too much. Alina Glavis there wisely lets the ball roll out, and she'll take some time off the clock. Just under a half hour to go here. Glavis with the throw up the line. It's headed right back where it came from by Grimm. Manat Dillon kind of lets the ball roll a little bit ahead of her. By the time she wanted to do something with it, she kind of could just tow it into the midfield. Amber Wells put up the chase. Giovinazzo wins it down. Hernandez from behind. That's a clean tackle, just a clean body position shrug off. And the referee was right there. And Annette Hernandez, I think, might get a stern talking to here and is just warning the number 25 about some of her body position on some of her tackles. It's robust. I wouldn't call it dirty by any stretch of the imagination. She's playing hard as Hernandez. She just needs to watch herself before she clobbers somebody. This could be a real chance here for Douglas. Right footer floated into the box by Buckle. It's not really dealt with. The ball now breaks for Graham. Left-footed shot tipped over by Bonazou. Fantastic save. The two All-Stars there showing what they're made of. Grimm left-footed rip, and Bonazou just palms it over. Good stuff from both ladies there. Corner kick for the Royals. It's going to be Miata, right-footed in-swinger. Everybody back to defend this one except for Amber Wells, who's the last line of offense, if you will. Miata, right-footer, into the near post. Bonazou's closest to it. She just had to step off her line a couple paces and let it float into her midsection. So now wump it forward. Cleaver Valdez plays it up into the air. I think Bonazou may want to let some of her sucks it forward there. Fortunately for her, Di Ruggiero does a good bit of hold-up play, and Bandel now has it in the right channel. Bandel taking on Grimm, still going Bandel. Beg your pardon, it's actually Lucy Baker taking on Bandel. Bandel tried to feed it to Wells by the right corner flag, but it was cut out. Took a deflection all the way across the park. It's a throw-in for Langara right in front of their own bench in the medical tent. Dillon with a ball into the area, kind of hitting the no man's land. No one is really there waiting for it. Bandel was the closest, and she was probably about 30 yards away, so maybe just clearing tight spaces there for the Falcons so they can regroup and fight another day. Ooh, and Wells wipes out Grimm there. She's late to the party as Wells. Nothing malicious there, just a step behind the play, and that'll be the first yellow card of this encounter. Number 11, Amber Wells, goes into the books. Good impressive play from Grimm, though. She doesn't shy away from those style of plays, even though she saw she was going to get trucked. She still went and made the play, and it's a lost art, that never say die kind of approach to the game. A lot of people would have maybe tried to turn back or trying to avoid the tackle, but she wrote it, paid for it, but managed to get the ball forward and draw a yellow card for her club. Substitution upcoming. Katie Buckle is going to come off, as is Emma Saran. Now, number 15, Chiara Lucarelli is onto the park, as is number 17, Jessica Lau. So double swap there for Douglas. Lucarelli and Lau on, Buckle and Saran off. Right-footed shot there from the substitute, her first touch, Jessica Lau. And will at least win a deep throw-in for her club. Ball cut across the area, dealt with first time by Manat Dillon. I beg your pardon, Jasser, but not cleanly. Falls back for Lau. She stumbled on her shot, and Manat Dillon just hoofs it clear. No rhyme or reason to that one for Dillon, and I can't blame her. Everybody was in the 18-yard box trying to have a whack at that one, and Dillon said, not on my watch, and just cleared it the length of the park. Hernandez now. Good play with Giovinazzo. Madison Hung going for a run now. This looks dangerous. Hung still going. Can she clip it across now? She's going to cut back, and I think it just got away from her. Did Hung? Yeah, it did. And it'll be a goal kick. You can see what really helped make the Falcons, I beg your pardon, tick in this early part of the scenario, the season, I should say, with Madison Hung's vertical runs. You can see just a bit of rust on her. She just needs to clip in that ball a little bit earlier, or maybe work a 1-2. You see the intention there with Hung. It's just the next step that needs a little bit of work. There's a clever ball over the top for Anna Clayton Valdez. She's going to get onto the end of. She has to get past Cassidy Kwan. She plays it off the shins of Kwan. It'll be a corner kick from the far right-hand side from the Royals. Still down 2-1. It looks like they're going to make another substitution as well, the Royals. It's going to be Kelly Miata coming off. I'll just wait to see a peek of the number here so we can see who came on, but for sure it was Kelly Miata, the number 22, coming off. I believe it's Talia Trasolini, the number 2, coming on. Indeed it is. Trasolini now into the matchup here, and she'll make her way right into the penalty box to try and receive this free kick. I beg your pardon, corner kick. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. Right at the near post. Bonazu tips over again. Good play there from Bonazu, who pretty much was glued to her near post and just popped out a fist to lift it over. Did it actually take a deflection off a head, I wonder? It looked like Bonazu got a clean touch. It will be a corner kick again from this near side corner now with Lau over to take. It's low, it's hard. It comes off the chest of Glavis, who's trying to pick it back up, avoid conceding another corner kick, but I think that's where we're headed, if not a deep throw-in. Nope, it'll be a corner kick again for Jessica Lau. The Coquitlam native. This one almost identical to the first, except for didn't even make it to the goalkeeper. Melina Glavis just blasts it out the touch. Alvin Prasad on the Langara Falcons bench, head coach, begging for the Falcons to win this first ball. This one with a little bit more pace, a little bit more sting. It's knotted down by Bandel. It's a heap of bodies in the penalty area. Everyone's having a crack at it. Eventually Giovinazzo slides in to avoid conceding a corner. No such luck. Far right-hand side corner. Again, this time Ashlyn Grimm on the left foot will take. And the Douglas Royals at the moment are just not going away. They are not making life easy on Langara. That's a little bit better. Right to the top of the 6, headed down by Cassidy Kwan. No Royal really there. A slide tackle this time from Jasser. Or was it Madison Hung? And that does just the trick as it ricochets off a set of green socks, and it will be a goal kick for Langara, who can finally breathe a sigh of relief after kind of playing a bit of rope-a-dope there for the last 2 minutes. Kate Bonazu will take her sweet time with this one. As mentioned, heading into this encounter, Langara finished second in the table. Douglas finished third. Langara 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss against Douglas all season long. A 1-0 win, a 1-1 draw, a 1-0 win, and a 1-0 loss. So 1 goal games all across the table with the exception of the 1 draw. Langara in the playoffs for the first time since 2017. They haven't won the cup since 2008. And Douglas, meanwhile, they fell in the semis last year to Capilano, and they last held the cup in 2023. Just a little PACWEST history for you there. A little quick bring up to speed. Wells tries to cut across Rogers there and get the ball back, and now a halfway ball from Giovinazzo almost caught Glavis out of position. But that's a fantastic bit of play there from Glavis, who acknowledges the space so well. Unfortunately, she played a risky ball back that Dobbin almost chased down. Good play there from the number 7, Glavis, though. Stylish. A little bit risky, but stylish. At the moment, Douglas are just having their way with the ball. It's been a bit of a scrappy second half. No real gild-edge chances to speak so far. It's been a bit tough sledding as far as some of the passing offensively. But so far, I'd probably tip my cap to Douglas as the team who looks like they're probably going to score next through either Claver Valdez, perhaps even Dobbin. The substitutes have looked good since coming on too. Dobbin looks like she might have been offside there. The ball is cut out by Kwan. Good play there by Hung, who comes back to put in the block. All it does is deflect it into the midfield. Still Douglas ball. Dobbin tried to hold it up there, but Giovinazzo was taking no prisoners. Just use her body position to force Dobbin outside the area. Hung and Trasolini collide at the halfway line. Just over 15 minutes time here for Douglas to try and retrieve an equalizer and send this one to extra time. Just getting a quick update there off mic. It is in fact extra time. Always like to confirm. They change the rules so often across soccer bodies. Sometimes they just go straight to kicks. Sometimes they go extra time, then kicks. Back in the day, they would just make you replay the match. Do you remember those? The replays back in old English football? Those were the days. 4-4 draw, and guess what? You get to come back a week later and do it again in the rain. Thankfully, we're a little bit more liberal here in BC. We don't want to run people ragged in the rain for any longer than they absolutely have to. And if you're a Langara fan, it's kind of heart and throat moment time. The Falcons are sitting awfully deep, and they haven't been up the park in probably about the last 15 minutes or so. I know Coach Alvin Prasad will want to roll with the ladies who got him here and the ladies who have put their best foot forward in this matchup, but you wonder if maybe some substitutions, if for fresh legs, if nothing else, might be just what the doctor ordered at this stage of the game. Bandel does a great job of shielding it. Her pass, though, is a bit too central, and it's put Melina Glavis in a spot, but what a win there by Glavis, who's been probably one of the more unsung heroes in this matchup today. She won't go on the score sheet with a thunderbolt goal like Hernandez or Bandel, but every play she's done defensively or try to keep an attack going or just maintain possession, she's gotten spot on, and those are just little things that can boost a squad. You know, Melina Glavis has been very good here today. Giovinazzo has also been very good. She hasn't lost a lot of duels, and she's more or less won every aerial duel she's gone up for. Douglas Royals fans still hooting and hollering away. They have not let their team settle. They've definitely been spurring them on all match, and that's just what you like to see, especially at this level, especially when you have to make the trek all the way up to Squamish. Look at that ball from Hernandez, under pressure as well. Hung clips it to the outside, trying to get to put in a cross pass. Tressolini, she gets wiped out by Tressolini, and the referee saw it. That's a good call, you know, because despite the fact that Hung got the crossaway, she got absolutely scythed down by Tressolini in the aftermath, and that's a yellow card. Good. And tenderized over the course of this season, poor Madison Hung. From Surrey, Grandview Heights, in her first year as a Falcon. And it looks like Hung's going to be okay. She's picked herself up, and it looks like she's back on the park, albeit ever so gingerly making her way towards the penalty dot. It'll be Annette Hernandez just outside the penalty box. It's more or less a corner kick marched up about 15 yards. So this will suit Hernandez just fine. And Langara are packing the 6-yard box to see if they can flummox Vanessa Chung here. It'll be a right footer, and Hernandez might try and blast this one. No, she clips it into the back post. The closest to it was Di Ruggiero, who isn't exactly a skyscraper. She was leaning back just to try and get the slightest hair follicle on it. No such luck for the number 17. That one will go out for a goal kick. We're in the 78th minute in about a couple seconds. And Douglas desperately looking to get the ball in the back of the net and extend their season. Glavis and Langara have just slowly started to take a bit of steam out of Douglas's positive little run there. They had about 20 minutes where they were really putting Langara's feet to the fire. Just in the last 5 minutes or so, Langara have just found a way to stifle that, slow it down. I don't want to say ugly up the game, but make the game more theirs. Just make it a little bit more of a battle for Douglas, not let them pass so cleanly through the field as they were before. It seemed like Anna Claver-Valdez was getting run after run on net. And if it wasn't for Kate Bonazou being sharp off her line, it might have been danger, danger, danger for Langara. Isabella Dobbin, who you always have to worry about. There are times in games where she can kind of go quiet and drift in and out of a game. This looks promising. If they get the ball to Parks, they have. Parks is one-on-one with the keeper over Bonazou. And there's the equalizer. 79th minute. And it's a well-worked counterattack. And the Langara defense just couldn't scope out Parks wide open at the back post. It was an excellent pass to find her. And the Royals, barring something wild in this next 12 minutes, will send this one to extra time. Good first-time hit from Parks as well, who I thought might try and take a touch before blasting it home. But she just scooped it over the keeper, Bonazou, who was just a dash off of her line there. Yeah, the seas just opened and parted there for the Royals. The Langara defense probably had about a good 10 yards of space between each of them, and that was just too easy for the Royals. And let's see if the Falcons have an answer. If not, extra time could be looming here in the women's semifinals, as it did last year as well. It took penalties for Capilano to take down Douglas. It was Chiara Lucarelli, the substitute, who played that pass over to Parks. A good play there by Lucarelli, who had a Falcon draped on her, but still managed to pop it wide left. They were a bit reserved there for a couple minutes. Now the Royals smell blood. They've got their tails up. They might try and end this in 90. Right foot. Young Cork one. She certainly thought about it. She has Claver-Valdez now to Grimm. Grimm cuts back to her right foot. Just too many touches there. And now a left-footed lash at it from Jessica Lau from distance. Goes over the net. 81st minute. 2-2 if you're just joining us. Douglas opened the scoring. Langara scored a quick-fire double in the first half, and it held on up until about 2 minutes ago. But a swift counterattack equalized for the Royals. Battle. That'll be a goal kick as Giovinazzo does just enough to shepherd the ball over the goal line. Giovinazzo under pressure from Valdez. Just hooks it out into touch, and Langara have to watch themselves here. They're sitting awfully deep. Back to the middle of the park for Hernandez. It evades her. Ruggiero returns it over. Hernandez looks good. Hernandez over the top for Bandel to chase. Can she get on the end of it? Bandel, she can. She keeps it in play. She has the late arriving run of Wells if she can find her. Bandel just waited a bit too long. She's going to go all the way back for Hernandez. Hernandez now rakes one into the area. It's a ping or two. Knotted down by Lucy Baker. And Rogers now takes a touch. That comes off of Bandel. Again, Baker will have a second bite at the cherry, and she whips this one out into touch. And Langara now will be able to set up shop ever so slightly in the Douglas end, but they'll have to be wary of the counterattack because that sprung to life very quickly for the Royals. Amber Wells gets shrugged aside there. Bandel puts in a ball. Lucy Baker can only clear it as far as Di Ruggiero, but the second wave of defense, Jessica Lau, does clear it. Good ball win there by Manat Dillon. Can Madison Hung get there? She does, ahead of Grimm. And I don't think that was a foul. That was definitely ball on shin. There was no foul there. It should have been a corner, I beg your pardon, a throw-in at least, I think, probably the way of Douglas. I think that came off of Madison Hung's legs, and the Douglas fans not too happy about it. There's one particular Douglas Royal fan who is just being merciless. You love to see it, though. I think she probably brought some flares and some bangers and all sorts of stuff out here. A real true soccer fan. She's giving the referee a bit of stick, and who doesn't like to give the referee a bit of stick from time to time? It can be very cathartic. Cassidy Kwan now. It'll be a right-footed ball. This one hit right to the back post. It's going to need a bit of help. Oh, my goodness me. Was that Amber Wells? It was. And I thought that might nestle into the back of the net, but she just stooped down and nodded it just wide right. Vanessa Chung's post. That was a real chance for Langara. It was hit with zip, too, by Cassidy Kwan. All she really needed to do, Wells, was kind of redirect it on net. Glavis. About 7 minutes plus stoppage here before we walk into extra time. Glavis. Optimistic ball in the middle of the park. It's actually one down there by Bandel. Good play there by Bandel, who gets around the number 14 for Douglas, Emma Saran. Amber Wells, though, wins it back from Parks. Wells needs a bit of help here. Oh, she's just left it a bit central. I think it's Lucarelli who's on the end of it. It is Lucarelli. Wells does well to win it back, though. Good play there by the number 11, who just hasn't stopped running today for the Falcons. Kudos to the number 11, Amber Wells, I beg your pardon, in the white shirt and the orange socks. She's been the busiest of the offensive players today. She won't be on the score sheet as far as a goal, unless she manages to conjure one up in the next 6 minutes or extra time, but she's certainly looked very positive in her play. DiRuggiero now, can she get on the end of this one? Haley Rogers does just enough to step in front of her and win it back for the Royals. Claver Valdez. She's dispossessed. Hernandez to Wells. Looking for Bandel. I think Bandel was offside there, and she just waited for the ball to come onside. Lucy Baker under no real pressure. Plays it out into touch. She could have turned around and played it into the path of Ashlyn Grimm, and now that might put the defenders in a bit of a spot there. Lucy Baker's had a couple clearances like that today where it looked like she wasn't under immense pressure, but just looked a bit weary of the threat of a Bandel or an Amber Wells snapping in and taking the ball off her foot. She's played it off into touch without asking any questions. I beg your pardon, wins the ball back. Hung's there! Oh, but Vanessa Chung was just in front of her. That was a good ball in from Wells, and I think if Madison Hung was maybe 1 or 2 yards advanced, that's a serious look on net, albeit with Vanessa Chung breathing down her net as wins it down. 5 minutes to go. Over the top, looking for DiRuggiero was Bandel, but she was in a sea of green shirts, was DiRuggiero. Wells, who's on a yellow card, she has to watch herself. She plays a physical style, does Wells. Last thing she wants to do is get sent off and put her teammates in a really bad spot. Bandel cutting in on her right foot, still going, tries to thread it through for, I think it's DiRuggiero. It is. DiRuggiero's in a real duel there. Looks like she got knocked over, but Bandel comes away with it. There's a stern tackle, but it's all ball. Bandel still down on the deck, clasping her knees, though. A deep throw in the way of Langara. Once again, this looks good for the Falcons, but they always have to be wary of that counterattack that Douglas can just pull the strings on so quickly. That's how they found their equalizer. Bandel just tried to sombrero it to DiRuggiero, but it came off her instep instead of the outside of her boot. And now things have opened wide open for Douglas. Take a all-star Ashlyn Grimm is over to take it, but she will relay. The Royals come away with it, though. Trasolini. Dobbin has it by the far right corner flag. It's getting foggier and mistier here up in Squamish. The forecast was calling for some snow. Oh, that was almost a really good cross from Dobbin, who almost spread the width of the area to an on-rushing Grimm. Grimm's going to have to come back quite a ways to get on the end of this one, but she's going to try and take on Melina Glavis, is she? Yes, she is. Grimm instead has a good range of passing. Oh, and Giovinazzo's put herself into a bit of trouble now. That's a high boot from Claver Valdez. That should have been whistled down as Giovinazzo was coming in to win it on the head. They do clear their lines, though, do Langara. 2 minutes plus stoppage time here, and this one looks destined for extra time. Jessica Parks maybe has other ideas, though, for Emma Saran. Glavis wins the header straight up in the air. Cassidy Kwan now with green shirts all around her clears it as well. Di Ruggiero under pressure hooks it up into the Squamish air. And Douglas right back to where they started as they're bopping the ball around nicely are the Royals. Lucarelli now. Good baller from Lucarelli. Great defense there by Jasser, who just fronted Claver Valdez. Another ping ball into the area. Cassidy Kwan clears only as far as Claver Valdez, waiting for more options. It's all hands on deck right now for the Falcons. Clipped into the box. Clear now. Valdez. Grimm. Left-footed rocket. That one was charged down by Di Ruggiero, which took all the weight off of it. And it ended up being a harmless 10-yard roller, dribbler, if you will, to Caitlin Bonazoo. Vandal wins it down. These Langara Falcons must be absolutely for leads. And you just wonder how those legs will hold up going into extra time, and I say if they were to win, or both squads really, going into the finals tomorrow. That's the unfortunate nature about not getting that bye, and just the benefit of working so hard to get that bye in the regular season. It saves you a day's worth of rest, and you don't have to play back-to-back matches, which can really be a struggle for the fittest of players to keep up with. Madison Hung gets around the outside of Lucarelli. Good slide tackle there by Lucarelli. It'll be a deep throw-in the way of Langara with the 90 more or less up, and we'll see how much stoppage time is added by the officials. Three minutes of added time from the fourth officials bench across the park from us. So 3 minutes for either squad here to try and end this in regulation. Something tells me we're heading for extra time. Hernandez, Bandel. Quick 1-2 with Wells. She tried to lift it over for Bandel. Di Ruggiero was hollering for a handball, but I think that might have come off a midsection. Long ping ball diagonally, looking for Anna Claver Valdez to chase, but she would have been at her feet. Bandel between three green shirts, doesn't come away with it. Jasser rakes it into the middle of the park. Wells. Well, that's a good ball if Hung can get there. It's outside the penalty box, but it's patient, accurate keeping there by Vanessa Chung, who just waited for the ball to creep over that 18-yard line so she could put her mitts on it. Looked like Madison Hung might actually be able to get onto the end of it, but good goalkeeping there from Vanessa Chung. I probably had to guess it's probably about a minute and a half left here, so probably one of the last plays of the game here for Douglas. Langara will have to be on their absolute best behavior. Going to be Ashlyn Grimm, left-footed, standing over this one. She might just try and blast it. Nope, she's going to play it short. Oh, no, and the substitute Trasolini lets it roll, and there's a real chance to get a chance on net. A chance for a chance. And it goes a begging, as unfortunately they just got a bit too cute with it, and clearly we're trying to work something that they had worked on in training beforehand, a little bit of a set piece. But Trasolini unfortunately has the ball roll under her studs. Cassidy Kwan now just trying to, oh no, she's lost it to Dobbin. Dobbin, right-footed shot right at the keeper, and Cassidy Kwan, oof, playing with fire there right on the edge of the 6, and more or less the last play of the matchup as well. Kate Bondizu slams the ball down in frustration. And we are destined for extra time here. If you're just joining us, Douglas opened the scoring in the first half. Isabel Dobbin got the goal before Erin Bandel and Annette Hernandez scored scorchers for the Falcons. A 79th minute equalizer for Jessica Parks of the Royals has us level at 2-2. We'll take a very quick break, and we'll come back with extra time of this PACWEST BC CCAA Women's Provincial Semifinal.
Again, we're 2-2 and headed to extra time here in the PACWEST semifinal.
I think so, yeah.
Have this.
Don't worry about it. Oh, you can just unplug it. Oh, unless... I mean, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah. North Americans, I think, sports love to use the format.
Semifinals. Soccer, of course, winning up first, 2-2 after regulation between Douglas and Langara. The winner, of course, extra time, by the way, is 250 now. right here at Capilano University Squamish campus. It'll be a noon kickoff tomorrow in the finals, but we still have to decide who's going to get there. And right now, Douglas are trying to put their stamp on this early portion of extra time. Isabel tried to play it wide. In royal green with a little bit of forest green piping and trim and some white and silver lettering as well. They're playing from left to right on your stream here today. Their keeper Vanessa Chung in goal, all yellow kit with the black sleeves and black mitts. Meanwhile, the Langara Falcons in all white kits with orange socks. They have orange and black piping, trimming, and lettering. They're playing from right to left on your video stream here today. Their keeper Kate Bonazou. All-star Kate Bonazou, I should say, along with Ava Giovinazzo for Langara. She's wearing teal in the goal for Langara today. Cross into the box by Dobbin over the head of Anna Claver-Valdez, I beg your pardon, and out the far side of the pitch. All-star nods for a couple Douglas ladies as well. Their lead scorer, Isabel Dobbin, as well as their left back, Ashlyn Grimm. Both have been fantastic here today. Isabel Dobbin on the score sheet, and Grimm has been in and amongst everything positive offensively for the ladies in green. And Langara held the season record over Douglas heading into this one. 2-1-1. Langara also hadn't won a game in 6 matches coming into this one as well, so not a scorching run of form, but they've managed to at least get it to extra time, and this next 15 minutes plus PKs will determine who will move on to meet. And I say this, it's going to be a thankless task to meet VIU in the finals. VIU do not give away a ton. They only lost once all campaign, and it was actually to Capilano, the last place team in the division. So neither Douglas nor Langara have been able to turn over VIU. So regardless of what happens here, the sternest challenge is still to come. Isabel Dobbin has picked out Emma Saran at the back post. Well-weighted ball. Saran, can she take a touch? She does. Sets herself up left foot through the legs of Aisling Jasser, but just not enough sting on the worm burner, and Kate Bonazou not really troubled there. It would have been a tough ask to hit that on the first hit for Emma Saran, as it was skipping, it was gliding, it's wet out, and she still had quite a range to cover. The initial shot, though, probably just needed a little bit more. And Aaron Bandles in a bit of a tussle with the number 2, Trasolini. Trasolini just waiting. I think it's going to actually be a throw. No, they actually are calling it a free kick, so I thought they might have given it supplementally after the throw-in was awarded. But Trasolini will have the ball here right on the halfway line. Into the right channel, looking for Anna Claver-Valdez, who was trying to roll Manat Dillon, but Dillon did very well just to keep her body position and knock it out with the head. It will be a goal kick, or I beg your pardon, a corner kick, as Giovinazzo didn't get on the end of it from this near right-hand side. Ooh, Bonazou comes out of that one, but it flies through her fingertips. Usually Bonazou very steady-handed from those types of service. But it was hit with pace, and as I mentioned, very wet out here today, and it kind of skipped and slid through the hands of Bonazou. Thankfully for her, no green shirts at the back post to knock it in. It will be a corner kick, however, from the opposite side. Trasolini, again, will travel the width of the park to put this one in. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. Ooh, well cleared by Giovinazzo. It looked like Jessica Lau might have a free run on net there and be able to just put a towering head through it, but Giovinazzo thumps it clear back into the area now. Grimm was the closest to it, but Manat Dillon hooks it away. Amber Wells can provide a little bit of relief here for the Falcons, who have been more or less bunkered in here to start this first 5 minutes of extra time. Glavis up the touchline for Di Ruggiero. She's muscled out of position. It will be a throw in the way of the ladies in white. Yeah, even the doggies have the raincoats on here today at Capilano University Squamish campus. It's a very wet one. A little bit of wind as well, too. And they're calling for snow and sleet and slush and mush and I don't know, maybe some hail as well. The forecast is ever changing up here in the Sea to Sky corridor. And if you're at pitch level, I can imagine they can't wait to get home to a cozy heater, maybe a bowl of chicken noodle soup, some warm mittens. But they still got lots of soccer to play here. Another good 24 minutes, potentially plus PKs, which, of course, Douglas are still smarting from last campaign, having lost in the semifinals at this exact same stage in PKs to Capilano. Last year, the host venue was the Langara home park in Langley. But this year they've gone the opposite way up the one. They've gone west and a bit north as well. Vanessa Chung. It's a bit of a light ball to her left. Melina Glavis stepped forward and got the first touch to it. It's knocked down for Hernandez. And like I said, you just worry about some of the legs of these Langara Falcons. They're very fit, and they haven't dropped off the pace that much over the course of 90 plus 7 minutes, but Coach Alvin Prasad has only made one whopping substitution this entire game, so the ladies out there must be absolutely gassed at the moment. I know I would be. But of course, I'm not the specimen. I'm not the machines that these Langara Falcons are. I hurt myself getting up off the couch. Hernandez tried to get around Dobbin. She does so. Slide tackle from Dobbin, though. A judge to have just clipped Hernandez, and it'll be a free kick the way the Falcons. Cassidy Kwan, who's along with Annette Hernandez, been behind most of the free kicks today for the Falcons. Let's see what she can get going here. It's a long vertical ball with not a lot of bend or swerve on it. Come up right up the Main Street. Right up Main Street, I beg your pardon. It was Madison Hung who took a touch and kind of, I don't want to say lashed at it, but she took her chances from just inside the 18-yard box, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Need a little bit more weight and a little bit more precision, but it certainly troubled Vanessa Chung, who had to be steady with her hands. Bandel over the top, gets to the right side of her keeper, and scores! Erin Bandel has the Langara Falcons up with her second of the match. And she's been wiped out in the process. And you just hope Bandel's okay. She gets the touch, she gets the goal, she sends Vanessa Chung the other way, but she has not moved a lick since going down. And that's not what you want to see from your Falcons' leading scorer, especially if finals were to come to fruition. It's a fantastic ball over the top that found Bandel sandwiched between two green shirts. She still had to do a bit of shimming and shaking and juking and jiving to find some position. She does that. It's a left-footed shot that catches Vanessa Chung going the other way, but the real story is, will Bandel be able to continue here? I'm just going to have to look at Alvin Prasad's options off the bench as far as a forward. He has Marina Pashalides and Murray Mary potentially. Abigail Gade, I don't think was suited up today. So if anything, I would imagine Marina Pashalides will probably come on for Erin Bandel, who has not moved a lick since scoring that goal. And David Giovinazzo is just having a quick huddle with her teammates inside the box by Erin Bandel. And Alvin Prasad is now bringing all the troops over to the bench level just to try and get some instruction here. And you just hope Erin Bandel's okay. We're going to get a good look at how she's... Oof, and you know what? Just looking at the way Bandel's moving here, it looked like she might have just planted the left leg after she uncorked the left-footed shot, because that was the peg she took it on, was the left. She scored with the left foot. And then maybe on the way down, it just got caught underneath her or jammed ever so slightly. And if I was a betting man, I would not wager that you were going to see Erin Bandel for the rest of today and potentially even tomorrow if the Langara Falcons were to make the finals. It was Annette Hernandez again, so Bandel and Hernandez have been running the show here today offensively for the Falcons. Amber Wells has also been very positive as well. She's still on the park, and they might have to rely on her and Madison Hung and Alexa Di Ruggiero moving forward. Yeah, just getting a look at Bandel. She's just starting to make her way over to the far corner flag. I think it would be very optimistic to welcome Bandel back into this one. Giovinazzo plays it to the near left touchline for Wells. It looks like it is going to be Mary Murray who will come on for Langara here. Just wonder if there's a slight issue with Marina Paschalides because she started the matchup. It didn't look like she got clobbered or hobbled in any which way, but Paschalides will remain on the bench. Mary Murray will come on. Also a substitution for the Douglas Royals. Their scorer, Justina Parks, will come off. And the number 16, Kaya Narcissus, will come on. Mary Murray now onto the park. She will come on for Erin Bandel. And just reading Bandel's body language, yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate. She's been so good today for the Falcons. She's been fantastic all season long for the Falcons. Ball over the top looking for Isabel Dobbin. It managed to split the entire Langara defense. Cassidy Kwan and Ava Giovinazzo were wide apart, and Dobbin took full advantage of that. Unfortunately, the ball, I think it was from Haley Rogers, was just hit with way too much sting. And on the slippery surface, it took a hop, a skip, and a bobble. And Kate Bonazou just let it roll out. If you're just joining us, 3-2 is the score. Isabel Dobbin opened the scoring in the first half for the Royals. Erin Bandel and Annette Hernandez scored a quick-fire double for the Falcons to put them up 2-1. A 79th minute equalizer from Jessica Parks. And now we're going to see another equalizer for the Douglas Royals. And it's Emma Sarin who latches onto a ball after a coming together between the Langara defense and the goalkeeper. The Falcons defense asking for a foul, I believe, on the attacking Douglas player. But the ball squirted free, and right after Bandel has scored the go-ahead goal, the Royals have found the equalizer again on a counterattack at the back post where the ball is just squirted free. And there's been nobody there. The Douglas Royals take full advantage of that Langara defense kind of sucking in centrally, and unfortunately Bonazou came off her line there. I think if she stays put, that's not a tap-in for Emma Saran. Back to where we started, 3-3 now. Mary Murray gets it to Madison Hung. Hung steps into Grimm. Murray steps in to win it back, though. Mary Murray has a right-footed shot. That one takes a hop off the turf. And it'll be an easy clutch and claim for Vanessa Chung. A minute to go in this first half of extra time. Narcissus gets her first touch, plays it to her left for Lucarelli. Glavis now. Hernandez. There's a good win there by, I believe it's Manat Dillon, who marched her way up the park. And Dillon's kind of a stay-at-home midfielder. She doesn't get forward very, very often, but that was one of the few times she made a foray into the offensive zone. Ball into the right channel looking for Isabel Dobbin, but it was probably about 10 yards away from her. Ava Giovinazzo lets it roll for Kate Bonazou, and the Falcons will try their luck again. Mary Murray comes in to win it. It's a bit of a heavy touch for Murray, but she comes back to win the second pieces. Jasser in the left channel for Manat Dillon, who again has gotten forward, but unfortunately has just time to run a bit off. The flag goes up. And probably a couple seconds away now from the end of this first half of extra time. It's been an eventful game, though. My goodness, if you're... And there will be, 2 minutes of added time on the first half of this extra time. Lots of times going on here. Get your sundial out. But yeah, if you're just a neutral tuning into PACWEST TV and their YouTube channel here to watch the broadcast, my goodness, you've been treated to a real gem here in the semifinals. Dobbin. Whipped straight up in the air by Trassolini. Wells. Di Ruggiero. It's tight quarters right now at the moment. It's a good win there by Hernandez, though. And Isabel Dobbin flies in there, and Kate Bonazu's lucky she didn't take an accidental whack on the way by. And actually good breaks by Dobbin, who I didn't think at the click she was barging in at was going to be able to stop, but she side-skipped around Bonazu. So honest play there by Dobbin. Jasser into the feet of Di Ruggiero, clips it inside for Dillon. Dillon tries to ride the tackle of 1 and 2, gets a bit of help from Jasser as well. Jasser lets Claver Valdez wriggle around her. Claver Valdez just skins her, and this could be a real duel for pace. Claver Valdez right-footed tackle from Giovinazzo. It's headed clear by Glavis, and well done by Glavis. She found just the right person. It was Annette Hernandez who then immediately tried to spring Mary Murray, who has not stopped running since she's got on Murray. She's done the physical bit as well. Dillon. Can she keep it alive? She does, and that's a robust challenge. And it'll be a goal kick. The referee says no foul. And Dillon's still down in a heap. I didn't get to see that one. I was kind of behind the tent, but I would love to see a replay of that one. Yeah, unfortunately, we're just kind of, my vantage point anyways is kind of behind 2 tents. I saw them making the run to the goal line there. It looked a robust tackle. I didn't see what happened in the aftermath. I think Manat Dillon might have just landed awkwardly on her backside, but there's been a few of those today where both girls have gone barging into the goal line looking to get on the end of something, and one of them has ended up against the cage or prone on the ground. Either way, the referee blows his whistle. It's halftime of extra time here. 3-3 between Douglas and Langara, a goal apiece in this first half of extra time. Erin Bandel scored for the Falcons before she was forced off with injury. Emma Saran had the equalizer. 3-3 is the score. Another quick break. We'll come back with 15 more minutes of extra time football here in the PACWEST Provincial Championship semifinals. If nothing gives, straight to PKs to find out who will meet the VIU Mariners. Will it be Douglas or will it be Langara? Back with more soon. Back with the second half of extra time. PACWEST Women's Provincial Semifinals here. CCAA style up at the Capilano University Squamish campus. 3-3 after 90 minutes plus 15 of extra time. 15 minutes to go here. If no goals, straight to PKs we go to find out if it'll be Langara or Douglas taking on VIU in the finals. Lucy Baker side foots this one away. Ball over the top, looking for Madison Hung to chase. Just getting some confirmation off Mike from Capilano media wizard Chris Rayside. The men's match was slated to kick off at 3 p.m., but they need a minimum of 20 minutes warm-up time here. So we might see a little bit of a later start for the men's semifinal between Douglas and Capilano, probably after 3 p.m., I would guess. But we still have this semifinal to decide here between the ladies, Douglas and Langara. Less than 14 minutes to go here, and I want to say that there was a substitution made at half. I thought I heard that over the microphone, but I think that was just wishful thinking on my part. It looks like Langara are going with the exact same ladies who have been out here slugging it out for the last 116 minutes plus. Isabel Dobbin can't get around her player. And I think it's Melina Glavis who's actually gone down there. And once again, not what you want to see. Her along with Erin Bandel were two of the more positive players down the stretch for Langara, despite missing some games to injury. And Bandel was forced off early in this extra time period. And you really hope Melina Glavis doesn't suffer the same fate. She's been down in a heap ever since it was Isabel Dobbin who she went into the tackle with. And once again, I'm kind of stuck behind this one Capilano University tent. It just won't let me see that far corner. And it looks like Melina Glavis is she up and okay? No, she's still down there. And both squads will just take this opportunity to go over some tactics and take a quick breather. This will probably add 1 or 2 minutes to extra time as well here, so the beat goes on. But the real concern once again is the condition of Melina Glavis, who is really in a tough spot here. Yeah, it's not been a lucky corner, this near left corner. Manat Dillon got flattened there like about 7 minutes ago, and now Melina Glavis is on the receiving end of a whooping. There were some Langara players making their paces on the substitutes bench. Erin Bandel is up and standing, which is positive. Figure if she was in really bad shape, she might have made her way right to the physio tent, but she's up and moving around, so you wonder if maybe Erin Bandel has maybe enough legs in her for a penalty kick. At the moment, though, we're wondering if Melina Glavis has enough legs just to continue. All-star nods ahead of this one as we wait to hear the condition of Melina Glavis for Langara. It was Ava Giovinazzo, who's had a fantastic season, returning as a center back after taking a knee injury, as well as Caitlin Bonazou, who's been very good in the net for Langara over the course of the season. For the women, Ashlyn Grimm, and of course Isabel Dobbin, who was tied atop the scoring chart with 7 goals. If you are joining us here up at the Capilano University Squamish campus, whether you're making your way down from Whistler or Pemberton, or making your way up from Vancouver or Furry Creek or Porter Cove, make sure you bring your raincoat. Even the dogs are bringing their raincoats here today. A lot of the furry fellas have their windbreakers and their anoraks and their toques on. But yeah, it's a soggy one and a very cold one up here in Squamish. 1 degree. It's calling for snow and sleet and all sorts of sideways things to come down at us. But so far it's just been rain. But let me tell you, wear a good thick pair of boots or a nice soled runner. Don't make the mistake that I did. I wore some old school Vans with 1 pair of socks. I dressed more for Gilligan's Island than I did for Squamish, and I'm paying for it dearly right now. So definitely bundle up if you're coming down to Squamish, up or down to Squamish. We're back underway here. Melina Glavis is still receiving treatment at the far end of the park behind the left net, Cape Bonazoo's net, the Langara goal. And it looks like her evening is probably done, and should Langara make the finals, I can't imagine she's going to be in any shape to continue. Number 23, Madison Pinch, who, of course, was one of the stalwart center backs in the early portion of the campaign alongside Tess Van de Vecht. And now Pinch will slide in to kind of help out along the back line with Cassidy Kwan, Ashleen Jasser, and Ava Giovinazzo. Ball floated into the area. Madison Pinch, she's the closest to it. Oh, Isabel Dobbin got a glancing header on that one. And while it didn't have a lot of weight and a lot of steam, it had almost enough placement. Almost saw it knuckle off the inside of the post and get past Kate Bonazoo, I beg your pardon. Real chance there for the Douglas Royals. Corner kick opportunity here for the Royals. Five white shirts, 2 green shirts, and a plethora of others hanging around the 6-yard box. It's low, hard across the 6. It takes a deflection. What a stop there by Bonazoo. Did that cross the goal or no? Okay, sorry. The referee was pointing to the halfway line. I thought somehow that had knuckled across the goal. Perhaps an offside or a foul, but my goodness, what a bang-bang play there, and what a stop by Bonazoo. I don't know how much she knew about that, but her palms of her gloves certainly knew about it. Fantastic stop there in between the sticks for Langara. About 7 minutes to go, plus a handful of added time after Marina Glavis went down to injury. Mary Murray trying to stop Anna Claver Valdez, but she scoots to the outside, does Claver Valdez. It's a well-weighted ball in for Dobbin. It goes over her head. Lucarelli had a whack at it. She couldn't wrap her foot around it, though, and it will be a goal kick. Douglas knocking at the chamber door now, and Langara have to be on their best behavior here as they try and take this one to PKs, or dare I even say snatch a late one. Jasser over top for Mary Murray. Good touchdown there by Mary Murray. She's just waiting for options now. She needs a bit of help. Hung. Plays it in the air for Jasser. Is that Dylan? Dylan's going to get on the end of this one. Dylan to the inside. Still going Dylan. Right-footed shot. Dylan takes a deflection. Palmed away by Chung. And that'll go out for a goal. Or beg your pardon, a corner kick. Fantastic stuff there from Dylan, who looked like she might have just been bodied off of position by the 2 green shirts there, but she stuck with it, poked it to her inside, and it didn't have a lot of weight on it, but she just put enough placement on it, almost similar to the Bonazoo chance a couple seconds ago where it looked like it just might knuckle past Vanessa Chung, but Chung palmed it away, and my goodness, against all odds. No, it's not just a very good Phil Collins song. It is Erin Bandel making her way back into this one. I thought she was done and dusted for sure, but she must have a bionic titanium knee or something. My goodness me. Top of the area for Bandel. It's headed down by Giovinazzo. I think Murray Mary was the closest to it. That's actually Cassidy Kwan. Can she keep it alive? She can't. Real good chance there from Langara. Good to see Bandel back at it as well. And it doesn't look like things are so good for Melina Glavis, who is still down on the park behind the Langara net. So, once again, you hate to see it because Glavis was probably one of the unsung heroes of this matchup for Langara. Everything she did was spot on, so tidy, a real workmanlike shift. And unfortunately, just an awkward twist of the knee sees her probably on the physio bench for the rest of this tournament. 4 minutes to go plus a bit of stoppage. And we're headed to PKs here in the provincial semifinals, PACWEST style in the ladies. Dillon now into the box. Can she put in a cross? She does. It's low and hard. Comes off a set of shins. Still alive, though. Dillon's going to try and put in another one. Step overs. She might just want to try and win a corner kick here. She plays it through the legs of Grimm. Baker put a touch to it. It's side-footed away eventually as far as Madison pinch. She scoops it up into the middle of the park. Hernandez takes a touch. Tried to go for Dillon. It came off the midsection of Baker. Hernandez wins it back, though. Clever play there by Hernandez. Couple minutes to go here. Hernandez, left-footed, sizes up across into Mary. Murray takes a shot deflection. Murray! Oh, she hit it first time, and she was kind of leaning away from it. Her body position didn't really set up for her, and she tried to poke it into that far right corner. I think if she was just able to open up the body a bit more, she gets that to the target, but she kind of just had to poke at it first time in a sea of green shirts. It's a bang-bang play. Good stuff there from Langara, though, who, like I said, they've played a bit of rope-a-dope this match. It's really been end-to-end stuff. Just when it seems like Langara are miles off the pace of the run of play, they'll pop up and get a fantastic goal. But Douglas won't go away either. They love them a good equalizer, so this has been a really fun game of soccer to watch for the ladies here in the PACWEST semifinals up at Capilano University, the CCAA. Claver Valdez can't get past. Is that Hung? That's good defending by Hung. Works a 1-2 with Di Ruggiero. The second pass almost wipes out the scorekeeper. The Langara Falcons just trying to do anything not to have to defend another chance here. 2 minutes plus stoppage to go here. The men's match will be coming up probably around after 3 o'clock, I would imagine. It was originally scheduled for 3, but I'd probably wager probably closer to 3:30 at this stage of the game. Manat Dillon. Murray Mary. Dobbin trying to get to the outside of Kwan. It's good defending there by Kwan, who just used body position. Cassidy Kwan, another good clearance. A minute plus stoppage here. And the Royals are in prime position to try and get a chance here if they can get a ball into the penalty box. Isabel Dobbin off the shins of Gia Vanat, that'll be a corner kick on the far right-hand side. Time ticking down here. PK's looming. The cruel lottery that is PKs. It's really anybody's game once it gets to PKs. Left-footed in swing. I believe it's Grimm. Knotted down. Is it? Cleared by Hernandez, but it's a bit of a half-hearted clearance. Claver Valdez is going to whip it right back into the penalty box. It's a right-footed shot with not a lot of weight on it, and Kate Bonazou will calmly clutch it and claim it. We're 30 seconds away from full time of extra time, but we will have some added time as well. Look at Bandel just stepping and skipping and jumping before playing it forward. That will be a foul as Bandel got charged down by Claver Valdez. And this might be the last kick of the can for both squads. Actually, probably not. Probably about 3 minutes of added time, maybe even 4 after Melina Glavis went down. 3 minutes of added time from the fourth officials bench. So 3 minutes sounds like it's a very short amount of time, but believe me, 3 minutes stretches far and wide. So both squads have a real opportunity to try and go get something if they put their best foot forward. Di Ruggiero now has won a deep throw-in on the far left hand by the far left-hand corner flag, right backed up against the res and the dormitories here at Capilano's Squamish University campus, I should say. I'm always mixing up my words. Capilano University Squamish campus. There you go. I think there was a foul throw there. And Douglas will have a chance to work their way out from the back. Yeah, and Alvin Prasad is having a go at the referee, and I have to say rightfully so. That throw-in was by the corner flag, and they've managed to work it up at least 30 yards, so good catch there by Alvin Prasad. Yeah, probably about a minute, maybe a minute and a half left here. Langara will win the ball back. Goal kick. Not a lot of threat there from Langara, and even Bandel, Erin Bandel right now she's running on bubble gum and duct tape at the moment. She is looking not very comfortable out there, and perhaps Alvin Prasad, the coach for the Falcons, just wanted to get her out there so she'd be in a position to take a penalty kick. She could be just an okay enough position to take a penalty kick. Madison Hung gets dragged back from behind, and that'll be a yellow card on Emma Saran, and I'm sure that's one she'll probably be happy to take all day long. That was a very professional foul. She didn't want the very pacey Madison Hung to try and skip around her, but now it's welcome to a whole nother type of defense that they'll have to put forward. It's going to be a long-ranging free kick. Cassidy Kwan standing over this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white shirts in the box to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green shirts. So the Langara ladies attacking right now have their work cut out from them, but anything can happen. And there's been a few balls and bits of set services here today that haven't been cleanly dealt with. The second waves have had extra shots, so for the Langara Falcons, you'll want to be sniffing it around the penalty box to try and pop home anything. Cassidy Kwan now right-footed. It's hit with some sting. Bandel's closest to it. Amber Wells through it a right leg. And that is the full-time whistle. And if you had a 3-3 draw with PKs on your score, a sports action card, lucky you, that's where we're headed. It's the PACWEST semifinals, the women's edition between Douglas and Langara. The winner of the following penalty kick shootout moves on to meet the VIU Mariners in the finals. We'll take a very quick break, and we'll come back with the penalty shootouts. back with the penalty shootout to decide the PACWEST women's soccer semifinals here in the PACWEST Provincials. Langara and Douglas level 3-3 after extra time. Aaron Bandel with the brace. Ernette Hernandez, the 3 goals for Langara. Dobbin, Saran, and Parks for Douglas. And it will be PKs to decide who moves on to meet VIU tomorrow in the women's gold medal match. That'll take place right here at the Capilano University Squamish campus at 12 p.m. But more drama in store here in what has been an absolutely fantastic semifinal to watch. It's been really end-to-end stuff here. And both squads should be proud of their performance here today. Unfortunately, it has come down to this, the cruelest lottery in sport. Yes, indeed, we're talking about penalty kicks. Langara man Sean Shook walking by. He looks nervous. I see him shaking. It's been a long time coming for these Langara ladies. Their first postseason appearance since 2017, and they haven't won the cup since 2008. So how massive would this be if they could manage to find their way in the finals? It would be great progress for the club. Douglas, meanwhile, they've won it in 2023, but they exited the competition in the semifinals, the exact same stage last year, in PKs as well. So I can't imagine they want that pain again. Ernette Hernandez missed a penalty kick on the final day of the regular season. She has a chance to make amends here. She's going to shoot first for the Langara Falcons. It looks like she'll approach right-footed. Hernandez steps up and scores! Emphatically. Top bins off to the right of Vanessa Chung, sends her the wrong way, and Langara take the early advantage. Good tone-setting penalty there from Ernette Hernandez. Jessica Lau, number 17 for the Douglas Royals. Against Kate Bonazou, all-star keeper. One of the few keepers to bring home all-star nods as well. So we'll see if Bonazou can translate that into a penalty kick performance. Jessica Lau, first shooter for the Douglas Royals, right-footed, goes the exact same way Hernandez does, but low, and sends Bonazou the wrong way. Bonazou guessed, but she threw her whole entire body that way. Unfortunately, she picked out the wrong side. Erin Bandel, the number 9 for Langara. She scored twice here today. I thought she had left with injury, but Stone Cold Steve Austin style, she told the ambulance to turn around and made her way back to the park here. Of course, I say that in jest. She looked like she was nursing a heavy knee injury, but did ever so well to make her way back into play and contribute. And of course, Alvin Prasad will use her in a penalty kick. Bandel's been one of the more lethal players for the Falcons this season. Right-footed. Bandel steps up and goes the right way. A picture-perfect penalty. Calm as you like. She barely even took a run-up. It was one step and shot. Great instep little there by Erin Bandel, who still looks tender walking back towards the center circle. You wonder what her condition for tomorrow's matchup will be. I think it's ice packs and rest. Maybe a little Voltaren and a little A535, a little Tiger Balm, or whatever you use to calm those injuries down. Good for Bandel, though. Injured. She steps up, takes it. It's 2-1 Langara in this penalty kick. Emma Saran, who scored in open play. She scored the 3rd goal as the equalizer. She's going to step up left-footed, it looks like. And she goes right up the middle, and Kate Bonazou gets the stop. She drops down. It was hit with pace. But the keeper is adjudged to have come off her line. It didn't look like she came off her line by much. I'm pretty sure her knees were on the line when she made that stop, but the referee, who was on the line, put the flag up immediately, and we're going to retake that one. Emma Saran will have another chance to equalize for Douglas here. And this one goes into the back of the net. It's a great little shot. Left footer tucks inside the post, and Bonazou was rooted to her line. Didn't really have much to do there. And I'd love to see a replay of that initial PK, because for my money, it was tough to tell from here, but it looked like Bonazou just dropped right onto her line. Definitely one of the talking points regardless of the result here. It'll be Ava Giovinazzo now, the center back and all-star for Langara. 2-2 is the score as she approaches the center dot. The penalty dot, I beg your pardon. Wouldn't want to take a penalty from the center dot. That wouldn't be fun. Nerves starting to build here as we get further down the order. Vanessa Chung active on her line as well. Giovinazzo right-footed. Goes the right way to her left. Chung's right, and very similar to Erin Bandles, just tucks it in the side meshing. Well taken penalty there by Giovinazzo. Anna Claver-Valdez, who, as I mentioned throughout the broadcast, one of the most industrious players on the park. She does not stop running. Unfortunately, she didn't get her goal today, but she was a key contributor in all the goals, and now she gets her chance from the penalty dot to get on the score sheet, albeit in a little bit more nervy of a circumstance. Claver-Valdez, right-footed, is stopped by Bonazou. She opened up the body. She went for placement over power, and Bonazou ducks down to her left to make the stop. Now this is a tough one for the broadcaster. I believe it's Manat Dillon, but her ponytail is covering her number, and Ashleen Jasser wears a very similar number and has a very similar ponytail, and she's the number 6. I believe it's Manat Dillon, the number 8. And that's a good call by the referee on the line. He's actually letting the Capilano players passing by the gate behind the net pass, so not to be a visual distraction to the shooter. Good play there by the referee. Manat Dillon, right-footed. And she goes over the bar. Manat Dillon tried to lift it underneath the crossbar, and she's about a foot or two over. And that's the first blemish for the Langara Falcons now. Douglas have a chance to equalize at 3 here. It'll be the substitute, Kaya Narcissus. And you would assume Isabel Dobbins probably shooting last for Douglas, the most important kick of the season. Kaya Narcissus, barring down. I think that's what Manat Dillon was trying to do. Well taken penalty there by Narcissus. No chance for Bonazou. And Kate Bonazou's actually going to take a penalty here, which I always like to see keepers taking penalties. It's not often they do, but it's a spectacle when it does go down. Kate Bonazou with a chance to extend the lead and really put the fire to Douglas's feet. Sudden death here now. And Bonazou goes over the bar. She tried to put it high again. And 2 straight penalties in a row. Langara have gone over the bar. And it's actually Ashlyn Grimm, the all-star from Douglas, who has a chance to win this for the Royals. If this goes in, Douglas will erase the pain of last year's penalty kick loss, and they'll move on to meet VIU in the finals. And Ashlyn Grimm has a wand for a left foot. She doesn't miss often, so Kate Bonazou has some serious work to do here. Left-footed from Grimm. It all comes down to this. Left-footed. She puts it past Bonazou. And Douglas are off to meet VIU in the PACWEST Women's Provincial Championships. That kicks off at noon tomorrow. It's so unfortunate for the Langara Falcons, who just looked like they ran out of gas at the end there. And unfortunately, 2 penalties soar over the bar. And they'll have to lick their wounds until next year. It was a positive season, though, for Langara, though, after having not made the playoffs since 2017. They finished in 2nd spot and really played some good soccer down the stretch. Unfortunately, I think just a combo of fatigue and let's face it, a really good Douglas squad. The Royals come away with it. 3-3, the tie at full time, and then they win 4-2, or beg your pardon, 4-3 in PKs. With Douglas advancing, we are expected to be joined by head coach Dalibor Plavsic, who I believe will be making his way over. We'll also duck down following that to the pitch level, where we'll have some interviews with coaches and players alike. If you're just joining us, Douglas ladies off to the finals. They'll meet VIU. They take down Langara in PKs after a 3-3 draw, and my goodness, what a scintillating 3-3 draw it was. I'm going to direct you to the Aaron Bandel first goal and the Annette Hernandez goal in that first half, because my goodness, regardless of what level, what game, where they were being held, any other variable, two of the finer goals you'll ever see. Goals of the season candidates, and they both come from the Falcons in the space of 15 minutes in that first half. Unfortunately, they couldn't take it over the rest of the way. The Douglas Royals just looked a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more fresh down the stretch. And without their leading scorer, Isabel Dobbin, even taking a penalty kick, they managed to advance there. And yes, we have green flares and streamers off here, everybody. It's official. You know your team has made the finals when the green smoke bombs make their way onto the park. We're just standing by, I should say, for Dalibor Plavsic, the head coach of Douglas College. And yeah, the green smoke is often going here in Squamish. They'll make the trek right back up the Sea to Sky tomorrow, where they'll play VIU, the Mariners. In the finals, VIU only dropped one game all of this season, I beg your pardon. It was against Capilano, who aren't even figured into this tournament, so neither Douglas nor Langara had the pleasure of beating VIU this season. VIU come in on paper as heavy favorites. But this is why we play the games. Anything can happen, but what a fantastic final there. Semifinal, I should say, between the Douglas Royals and the Langara Falcons. This will certainly be one to watch for years to come. I'm just keeping my eye on Dalibor Plavsic as he makes his way across the park. He'll be joining us here for the post-match interview here shortly. He's just dealing out some hugs to Emma Saran and the Douglas ladies, getting a bit of love. Yeah, Dalibor Plavsic looks like he's giving me the slip here, man. It looks like he's going over to celebrate with his teammates, and how can you blame him? What we'll do is we'll rag the puck here for a couple more minutes. We'll bring you up to speed. We'll preview the men's encounter, and hopefully by then the head coach of the Douglas Royals will come over and we can just talk to him about what that all meant for his club, because that was heart-and-throat moments at the best of times, but they stuck with it and they get the result. Coming up, probably, I'm going to guess, around 3:30 here. There's a minimum of 20 minutes for warm-ups for the men before they get going in their semifinal. It'll be Douglas, who finished in second spot in the men's division on 20 points. They'll take on the host club, Capilano. They finished on 12 points. They finished third spot and actually didn't secure their playoff lives, or their semifinal berth, I should say, until that last match. They needed to at least get a point or have VIU lose, and VIU lost. Had VIU won and Capilano not managed a victory or even a draw, Capilano would have been on the outside looking in. So they're living on a prayer a little bit at the moment, Capilano, but that doesn't mean they can't go ahead and upset Douglas. They've been fairly matched throughout the portion of the campaign. But it all boils down to this, because anything can happen in the semifinals. Langara ladies hadn't scored a goal in 6 matches leading up to this one, and lo and behold, they scored 3, including 2 belters that would make the highlight reel in any nation. And this is what the PACWEST is all about. They're just handing out some awards and some nods down at pitch level. And we'll get you up to date on those awards probably in our men's broadcast. It looks like Dalibor Plavsic, the head coach for the Douglas Royals, is on the far side of the pitch celebrating with his club. And like I said, we're not going to tear him away from a good moment, probably the best moment of the season so far for his Royals. And they'll look to get a little bit of positivity, a little bit of rah-rah in the locker room as they now turn their eyes to the VIU Mariners in the finals tomorrow at 12 p.m. Once again, if you're just joining us, Douglas Royals ladies take care of business in PKs. After a 3-3 draw against Langara, they move on to meet VIU in the finals tomorrow right here on PACWEST TV at the Capilano University Squamish campus. Quick break, come back around 3:30 with the men's kickoff. It's Douglas taking on Capilano. The winner takes on the Langara men in the finals tomorrow right here. Once again, the host site of the PACWEST Provincials and the Championships. It's Capilano University Squamish campus.